Gentlemen, welcome to Session 1 of Tales in Strega. We start here in the lands of Strega, a massive stretch of plains and forest divided up by the many rivers that make up the area, flowing from the left and right wing fell mountains that make up the edges of the Kingsdale, and from the great, vast, giant mountains far to the east in the Yorlands. These rivers cut the land. This land was once at peace. Everyone here, the sons and daughters of the first men that traveled from the north in the Syrian region. They came here and lived in peace. And from this peace, eventually came tragedy. A vast horde, a plague of monsters known as lindworms, came ravaging in from the north, destroying the land. And where the land was destroyed, hope was kindled, as the beast folk and humans that made up the populations rose up in defiance against this horde. Led by the twin-winged goddesses, Teresa and Runa, they tried to mount a defense against the lindworms, which was failing. And so, by activating a number of ancient shrines across the land, the twin goddesses bled their blood into the land itself, empowering the land, beast, and human alike, which made everyone strong enough to fight this horde and fend them off and send them packing back to the north. The price for this victory was the life of the two goddesses. Though they are gone, their worship is stronger than ever. One of the last things that the goddess Teresa did before her death was name the greatest warrior in the land, a peerless swordsman by the name of Strega. She made him king and told him where to build his kingdom. And thus the city of Terrasgard was founded. Strega would go down into history as one of the heroes of the ages. A number of people like this exist elsewhere. Their deeds so great that entire chunks of the land were named after them. Strega, the kingdom and the land itself being one of those. From this point on, the region prospered. Worship, freedom of choice, unity flourished. But the beast folk of the east weren't as favorable of Teresa. They worshipped another winged goddess, her sister Runa, another that sacrificed herself to save people. Over the centuries, the worship of these two individuals specifically grew greatly, while the other 10 or so gods of the human pantheon faded away. And eventually it became a religious rift, which pushed the kingdom into a bit of an extreme with their new Church of the Goddess. Instead of being a giant sort of pagan pantheon where you were free to worship all of them, they decided to found a church dedicated to the one. They asked the rest of the kingdom and the lands to also do this. Some agreed, some did not. To those that didn't, the answer was war. And thus the kingdom was divided. The Stregan Imperium versus the beast folk of the Yorlands. After many years of a standstill, a deadlock in the war, a group of nobles that controlled city-states on the border decided that, well, if others can survive while being separate, then so can we. 3 lords specifically stepped up, creating a secret alliance before they all broke away, creating their own unique new faction within the war. This was the Alliance of the Free Cities, ruled by the nobles that ruled these 3 cities, now called the Council of Three. Strega, outraged at this, also declared war on them. While the Free Cities don't have an alliance with the Yorlands, they are on friendly terms. There's no open warfare between the two, though there are tensions on the borders of their territory. The Free Cities are made up of Fortrell, Skovland, which is mostly wood elves, and Osterland. But that is a large story. That is a tale that takes place 1,000 miles away. This is a smaller tale. One that takes place on the far western coast of Strega, in a small town named Avenglen, where a group of unlikely people, by coincidence or fate, are about to meet up. Now then, this is where we begin, gentlemen. I'm gonna turn that down, Jesus. I'm gonna have to turn all these down for your fucking mic. But yes, so. Sitting on the ground, taking a rest, rising to his feet and wiping the mud off. Early in the morning, the sun's still just beginning to rise. A young individual marching from the road north, heading south to Avenglen. Up ahead of you, you see the town of Avenglen. A small, humble little village, really, but looks like it's slowly turning into a town, at least on half of it. You see many fires lit about the place. Large piles up in like teepee shapes of different twig and other sort of kindling, creating fires. It is the first day of autumn, and thus the harvest festivals have begun. Avenglen looks like it was a bit too antsy. The sun's not even up, and they've already begun festivities. You walk into the edge of town. You can see the streets. At least one street that cuts through the center, covered in cobblestone. Maybe about a dozen or so buildings. Maybe almost 24 buildings scattered about the place. The beginnings of farms up to the left. As you can see, walking into town, left ways, so more east. A vast valley points down into this place. Ivar, how do you want to pronounce that?
Ivar.
Okay.
But the person that I was waiting for is here, so I gotta be back in like 5 minutes. So.
Alright, never mind. Of course, the one I picked is the one that has to go. That's my luck right there in a nutshell. Okay, well, rewind back.
It's Skyrim.
Close to it. So we'll switch it up then. Coming from the South Road, traveling north, a young man, clanking in armor, the jingle of chainmail, a bag slung over his shoulder. A little hungry. It's been a long road. Tim, how would you like your character's name pronounced?
Just Amron.
Amron? What about the last name?
Yeah.
By Kane?
Bacane.
Or by?
Just Beh.
Beh. Okay. Beckane.
Beh.
Beh. All right. Well, do not repeat that name to Wally. He will shatter your character's name in a second. He'll be like, all right, your name is Bukuk from now on.
I'm just going to do this. There we go.
Oh, fucking A. Okay.
So,
yeah.
It's like saying Cameron without the K or the C at the beginning.
All right. Fair.
Cameron.
All right. So as you trudge up forward into town, you've heard of this place. It's a small village that, due to the heavy trade that goes from Norstrand to Vested and down to the rest of Strega, and the vast distances between the lands, there are small villages and little thorps and hamlets in between, but none that really acted as a proper hub for traders. And so the middle ground place was picked, this location of Avenglen. And it looks like a port is starting to be built. So there is, you see maybe 4 or 5 ships in port and a couple other ones anchored some yards out into the water. And that's all to the left of you. To the right of you, you see a small gap in the mountains that heads off into more mainland Strega. A huge valley. A glen, in another word. But you can see coming from that valley a small river that kind of waves side to side. And right as it comes into contact with the town, it makes this huge C curve and then cuts straight out into the surf. The sand and silt washed from the valley, constantly pressed back by the ocean waves, creating a long, almost triangular-shaped beach next to town. The buildings along the dock are almost twice the size of the buildings in the rest of the town. A true show of economy in the boat travel and who this town really is trying to cater to. To the right, you could see a bunch of one-story buildings, maybe one two-story building, perhaps another in the back, maybe town hall. Fields out to the right going up along the river into the valley, the beginnings of farm work. A water wheel along the river with a mill, and you can hear the neigh of horses in the distance. A stable perhaps somewhere. High up in the air, the screech of an eagle that begins flying high overhead. But you can only just barely see it now as the dark morning begins. On the horizons, a dull red glow creeps up over the ocean. And you look in town and you can see a number of fires and different bonfires of straw, branch, and kindling created. You know, as the first of autumn, the harvest festivals are upon us. And it seems that Avenglen is eager to start the celebrations. What do you do?
What's their fall festival like? What would I know about it since I would be from the area?
So, what you know from autumn is that it is a time of year where obviously the heats of summer begin to go away, the days begin to become shorter, the temperature drops, the winds increase, it rains and storms more, and then everyone is in a hurry to quickly and as fast as they can and in bulk gather resources and money, because once the winter comes, they need to be prepared, otherwise they would starve or freeze to death.
Okay.
Which also causes people to become desperate, and so usually there's a spike in bandit activity in the autumn. So it's typically recognized as a very negative time of year, but the kingdom, trying to keep morales high, has created the harvest festivals in an attempt to make it so that people can be happier during such a time of year, and that festivities will raise people's spirits and keep them working, all for the reward of parties and relaxation at the end of the night.
So it's pretty much just, like celebrating the time of the year, pretty much.
Yep. And there is what at the beginning of the day, once every week, there is a festival, a small one. So it happens a good maybe dozen times, small festivals throughout. So, you know, just imagine basically everyone celebrates Thanksgiving like once every 10 days.
Okay.
So, and they worship usually the goddess Teresa, but every once in a while communities are allowed to revere Malaya, the goddess of life, and a couple other individuals that are within the pantheon, but it's typically Teresa, just to avoid any issue from the Imperium guards or agents of the church.
Gotcha.
But yeah, you see that they are busy, underway, getting ready. It is early in the morning, you're a little hungry, you have your rucksack kind of thrown over one shoulder, and you are walking into the edges of town. Looks like a single cobblestone road cuts straight through the center of it and out the other side.
I am going to head to the port area to talk to people about any rumors that they've heard.
All right. And that is what you do. You make your way through town, people, and it's baffling. It's like 6 in the morning and everyone's happy and ready, and you just kind of, someone who just woke up from camp after a long day's travel, just sort of wave them off, plug your ears, rub your eyes as you make your way to port and begin trying to talk with people. Speaking of port, or at least some yards down the way from port, I gotta turn that down, holy shit. I'm gonna have to turn all these down, am I right? Alright. Another individual. Cold. Wrapped in something that from the outside looks like clothing, but on the inside most assuredly is not. A beautiful, what was it, half-elven?
Yep.
Beautiful young half-elven man As you're walking up the beach, looking at the mountains to the left and the wide, vast sea out to the right, you look up ahead and you can see the lights of a town. You were tired. You ran out of rations a while ago, or at least any that you found in the surf.
Yep.
But up ahead, you see civilization.
Huzzah.
Kalul, what are you doing?
I am approaching said civilization, asking, if I see anyone nearby, I'll ask where a young mage might find some work.
As you walk up into town, it almost kind of catches you off guard, because you didn't see him when he was further away, but walking 60 feet and this person now entering your dark vision, I think you have dark vision, a half-elf.
Yeah.
Suddenly there's a man there, and you kind of, whoa, pause for a second. You look, and you recognize the utensils in his hands. This is a fisherman.
Ah,
He has no idea you're there, because it is dark, super early. He's trying to get those early morning fish, and he does not have dark vision. You see, he isn't paying any attention to you, is just fishing away. Doesn't see.
I grab both of his shoulders. Good sir.
Oh God, please don't take me. I have a family.
Ah, do not fear.
What? What?
I need... Where might a young mage find work that pays gold? For I have no money. Are there any monsters that need slaying?
Did you wait? Hold on. And he smells and he goes, "Oh, you smell terrible. All right. You're clearly drunk. Look, yeah, you want work? Head on into town. There's a lovely little spot called the Meander and Meadery. Now, shh, keep it down. I'm trying to fish here, man. You gotta be quiet in the morning."
Oh, I know much of fishing. I'm not drunk.
Right. Anyway, head on to Meander and Meadery. It's just down the way. It's over by the farm fields. He turns around and points to the road leading into town. He goes, "Head in there, stay on the cobblestone, go left. It'll be I think first or second building on the left, one of them."
Very well. I thank you, good sir.
Yep. Drink some water and a bath.
I wander towards the meander and meadery.
All right. You walk on over, and as you come into town, you see there isn't too many townsfolk. You see there is what looks like a party or some sort of festival going on. There's fires being lit. In the center of town, you see a large circular sort of stone plaza. And there looks to be these like squarish sockets in the ground, but there's nothing in them. And they're set up in like a circle pattern. And you can see a couple of like heavily armored guards walking around town. Rather than like the usual guard, like shield and spear, these guys have shields on their back and sort of like wide broadswords at their hip. Similar to the swords used in your land, shorter, wider blades. And they just seem to be loafing around town. You can see people getting ready to dance. Farmers waking up and getting ready to head to the trail. You walk by an old well. You see this town, while there is a festival going on only for the early birds, you do see that the ruckus has started to wake the rest of town. You can see a number of boats off to the sides. And as you kind of are looking around down the left of the street, you look, and eventually you do see a sign up the way. And it is a big wooden sign hanging. Looks like a wooden mug that has some sort of line winding underneath it, like a river of some sort. And there is a mark on the center of the mug that looks like a dog's head. And it's burned to make it look black. And you look at the name, and it says the Meandering Meadery.
Oh, very good. And I go.
As you open the door, you hear, a little bit of talking, a little bit of rambunctious stuff, the clanking of glasses and stuff. But as you come in, you are met with a tavern. The tavern itself the base of it has like a stone sort of foundation. The rest of it is timber the whole way up. All the roofs have like a curve to them, almost like a like the hull of a boat. The large central structure that you just walked into is 2-storied, and then jutting out from the side of it is this long L-shaped building, creating like a courtyard to the side. You see many, many doors wrapping around that way. As you walk in, straight across on the far side of the room, there's a staircase that goes up, balconies up above to into other rooms. Usually taverns have many trophies and decorations and mantles and things to sort of really make it look nice. But this place almost looks like someone recently purchased it and has yet to move in the furniture. Everything's a little bland, kind of plain, but it has chairs and tables. There's a fire by the hearth. And you can see a number of individuals set up in this place. You can see up at the bar, up against like the wall end of the bar, there's like the mysterious cloaked traveler. In the far back corner on the right, you can see a number of people also in cloaks. Theirs is black with sort of a brown stripe down the center, and they're covered in various metal like tools and symbols and chains and rings and things. In the middle, kind of off to the side, you see just like 3 merry friends, a young man with glasses drinking, a young girl next to him, and an older gentleman. They seem to be having a good time there. Behind the counter, the bartender, taller, sort of slightly well-dressed man, white hair pulled back into a small ponytail, very gruff. He just kind of sitting there washing a cup, kind of pouring water on it, looks over to you and kind of gives you a nod, and he's like, "Hello there, friend. Welcome to Meandering Meadery. Come, take a seat. Come sit at the bar. Everywhere else is fairly taken up." And you look out, and there's a couple townsfolk scattered about in some places.
Thank you, good sir. I will take a seat.
As you take a seat there, he kind of walks up to you, and you see a woman come out from a back door. Very tall, very big lady, long, kind of blonde hair with a bit of red to it. She's wearing a very simple sort of green dress with a kind of brownish tan vest and apron over top of it. A bandana holding back her hair on top of her head. And the front of her dress, where the apron would be, is cut open to reveal her fairly bountiful cleavage. She is using her womanly weapons well. As she comes out with 2 trays of food and drink. And she's like, "All right, a meal's ready," and begins heading out. Amongst the draft is another woman, her clothing less revealing up top and more so down low. She has untucked her shirt a bit to reveal a bit of her stomach, and the side of her dress is cut open to show a bit more of her calves and knees. And she is sitting at a table with some townsfolk, kind of leaning in and flirting a bit. Those are the only 3 workers you see, is those 2 barmaids and the bartender. He comes over and kind of sets the tankard down, puts his hands down, and he goes, "Huh. You don't look like you're from around here, sir."
I most certainly am. He didn't set the tankard in front of me, did he?
No, he has not set anything. He put it like down on some shelf behind the bar.
Oh, okay.
And he kind of puts his hands out really far apart and kind of leans into you. Still, a good, conversation distance apart, and he's just kind of gives a look at you, and you can see a little gruff kind of beard, grays with little strands of brown. This gentleman's older, but not too old. He kind of looks at you and he goes, "Huh." He's like, "You're not from Avenglen, then?"
Oh, most certainly not. I'm from lands far away. I was actually sailing across the sweeping sea, and my ship came upon 4 times, and it wrecked. But I survived. I do not even know where I am.
Sorry. That's awesome.
Wally, are you back yet or no? Nope, Wally's not back yet. All right. And yeah, so he just kind of looks at you with like a raised eyebrow. Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
Yeah. All right.
And I'm gonna bust out my dice as soon as I can.
Natural 1.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And it's on! This is it. This is where karma's coming for you, Johnny.
Oh man.
You're gonna go from Carl and Verdrago, who can't roll under 17, to beautiful, beautiful Kalul, who can't roll over 7.
Kalul the Uncanny.
I like that name way more. All right, and the individual behind the bar is gonna make an insight check. That is a 16. Plus whatever his bonuses are. It doesn't matter at this point. And he looks over at you and goes, just kind of sizes you up. And he's like, well, that is a tall tale, isn't it? But you know what? I'll believe you. If you didn't look like a foreigner, probably wouldn't believe you. But also, you should probably get some new clothes while you're at it.
Well,
Is that just a blanket?
I'll have you know this is a sale, good sir.
Oh boy. And he reaches behind the counter and he goes, what do you like to drink?
I appreciate the kind gesture. However, I have no money, which is part of the reason I am here.
He just holds his hand up and stops you and just kind of waves it, and he goes, no. This one's on the house.
Most gracious host.
Don't take it as pity, I feel for you. I've had a couple rough ones in my time, too. Here, try this out. And he slams a tankard of honey mead in front of you on the table.
Delicious.
I don't know where you're from, but do they have this stuff?
Do they?
Do you take a sip?
Oh, yeah.
You pick it up and take a sip, and it's very sweet, to the point where you almost want to start chugging it. But there's also the tinge of alcohol, which makes you want to stop chugging it. So you're in this weird crossroads, and it's a very delectable little decision you make while drinking in your head. Fun little conflict, and you're like, huh. And of your village, you have never had something like this.
No, what is this strange nectar?
That's definitely a way to put it. We call it honey mead. Basically, it's just honey and spirits. It's for your troubles. Don't worry about paying for it.
Oh.
I didn't mean to interrupt you before. What were you saying?
Oh, no. Like I said, shipwrecked, and I just recently came to shore, but I need, looking for work of the, adventuring sort.
As you're saying this, the rather, voluptuous young girl who walked by before, is coming behind you with trays in her hand. She sort of stops and, looks at you with confusion, at the back of your head. You kind of look up and see her, and she looks back to the barkeep, and he just kind of closes his eyes and waves his hand at her, and she just sort of shrugs and goes, sounds like it was troublesome, and just walks off into a back room, and he goes back to you, and he goes well, we've definitely work around here. Since you're new in the area, I can let you know. This is Avenglen. We're part of the region of Strega. There's the Empire rules here, the Stregan Empire, the Imperium, as others call them. I don't know if you, where you're from, has such a thing. And where you're from, you were from the Triosian Kingdoms, which is a united group of independent cities, small kingdoms, basically. And you are... your entire region is in a big 4-way deadlock between 4 empires.
Gotcha.
So you are familiar with the ideas of an empire.
Yes.
From a commoner standpoint, but yeah.
Yeah, I understand the general rules.
Well. Wherever you're from, in case you're the religious type, the empire here, they do worship a goddess. They worship Teresa, goddess of land, civilization, beauty, mankind, you name it. they don't really take too well to others. So if you're the religious kind, keep that,
other gods.
yes, keep it in your pocket a bit, eh?
Ah, understood. I'm not much of a religion man myself, but good to know.
And then also, just in case, hold on, that's my phone. Pulls out his smartphone, he goes, hello.
What?
No? Alright. No, you're good. Okay, bye. Bloop. Trying to think here. You said you're looking for work, the adventurous type? What kind of adventurer might you be, sir?
Monster slaying, enemy beating.
He just smiles. He's like, well, we've monsters and beasts for days. You'll find a lot of work here. I don't see any weapons on your person, though. Do you fight with your hands and feet?
I am Kalul, the arcane.
Boom! And he slams a tankard on the ground as you say that.
I was good. Oh.
And kind of cuts you off a bit, and he goes, oh, sorry about that. And you see he spills a bit on the counter, and he pulls out a cloth and begins to wash it as he leans in, uncomfortably close to you. And he looks up, and you see his expression kind of goes from like a nice, warm, sort of old man bartender. His eyes kind of open a bit, and he's like, has almost a very devious look to him. Very different air, and he's like, I would keep the ideas of magic to a minimum around here. Folks don't like it too much. As he motions over to the corner, where you see about 3 or 4 of the hooded individuals with the kind of the brown mixed in. They have all the little metal accessories to their person.
As I sit there with my hand upturned, like I was getting ready to make lightning, I like slowly turn it down towards the bar.
Yep. And he finishes wiping up the water that he spilt. Very, very tactful with him cutting. It's almost like he was expecting you to say it.
So weird.
Yeah. He definitely... He's very sharp for an old man. And he pulls back and he goes... But of course, if you're... and you notice he's talking a little quieter now. He's like, but of course, if your powers are granted to you by the divine, then there's no issue. But if it's anything else, you might want to hide that a bit. I'd recommend getting a weapon to defend yourself.
This is quite the predicament.
Welcome to another land. Would you like another drink, sir?
Of the free variety?
Well, this is a business. I can't exactly give you a free one. But perhaps if you'd agree to something, maybe I could.
Oh? And what is that?
And he starts pouring the next drink, honey meat again, and he goes, you see that quest board over there? And you look over, and there's a board along the wall with different posters and things on it, and at the closest table sitting there is you see the mysterious cloaked figure, and you see up against the wall next to him is a gigantic crossbow and a quiver of bolts up against the wall. And he's like, that there's a quest board. There's a number of those in different taverns and establishments all across the region. Maybe there's somewhere you're from, not sure. You see, this land of Strega, it's been plagued with beasts of all different shapes and sizes. From what I've heard from travelers from across the sea and across the lands, some of them are even unique to everywhere else. Long story short, it's a problem. There's an entire guild dedicated to hunting and getting rid of monsters. Other guilds work the same way. But, of course, it's a lot of land for one guild to take care of, even if they are kind of big. So quests to take care of wildlife are always up and about. But actually, I'm not interested in that. You see, and he points to one of the pieces of paper, and he goes, there's a little something there that the town needs help with. You accept that quest? And you see the one he's pointing at in the corner. He's like, you accept that? I'll give you the drink free. If you come back successful, I might give you more drinks for free. And the reward, of course.
What is this quest?
About that time. Ivor, are you back?
Yes, sir.
All right. You have just come into town. They seem to be in the middle of their harvest festivals. And as you know from the harvest festivals, they start the first day of autumn, and there is a festival every 10 days until the autumn is over. Trying to make the autumn, which is normally a very bad time of year where people have to quickly hurry and kind of grab onto resources and other things and stockpile to survive the winter. As people get desperate, they can resort to banditry. The creatures in the area, they grow desperate too, as they need to put on a lot of fat to hibernate for the winter. So even the animals get more fierce. But the festivals are created as a way to bring morale back up. And you see this small town of Avenglen is, they're trying to get their morale up early in the morning, it seems. As you are on the outskirts of town, you see the large buildings off to the right along Port, and then all the smaller, more residential-style buildings off to the left. It's clear where more of the money flows in this town. You can see there are people rising to work, farmers, craftsmen, town guard are walking around. There doesn't seem to be a lot of town guard around. It is a very small community. You can hear horses kind of neighing and moving around. You can occasionally hear like a dog bark. There's an eagle screeching high overhead in the dark sky. But you've made your long trek from Norstrand here. You're at a bit of a lack of ration due to traveling as fast as you could. Hoping that elsewhere on the road other people are hopefully having just as easy of a time as you are. But you have arrived in Avenglen. What is it you would like to do? Tired from the road.
As one tired from the road, I assume I would head for the inn.
If you would like. So as you kind of waltz into town, you yourself have not been to Avenglen. You are familiar with its new up-and-coming predicament of being the middle of a long trade route. So as you look around, you expect this town's going to get pretty big in the next few years. Calling it a town right now is a bit of a stretch, but it's probably not going to be a town not before too long. But you have never been here, so as you walk around, you come across to the center of town where you see the whole place almost is divided into quadrants. There is a cobblestone sort of X road, one that cuts straight through, connecting the road in and out of town, north and south, and one that cuts straight through in a sort of perpendicular line, connecting the port through the town northward to where the farm fields are. It is the only part of this community that is cobblestone. Everything else is just dirt and grass. You see about half a dozen or so boats set up outside. You start to hear the town come to life. In the center of town, there is a large circular stone sort of plaza, like a slight raise. But there's nothing on it. There are a couple guards standing there. They're by one of the large sort of kindled pyres that are burning around town, and they're just warming their hands. It is cool this morning, maybe about 50, 60 degrees. And they're in heavy metal, which isn't exactly the best heat holding.
Yeah. Can I go up to them and...
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, sirs. Is there a place around here where I could get some breakfast?
They kind of turn and look to you, and one of them's like, "Hey, morning. Yeah, there is. Well, there's only two, so you don't have a big pick, but if you've got the coin for it," he motions towards the large buildings over on the port, and he's like, the guild hall there, the Brothers of Port. And he's like, they got a tavern literally built in. It's good stuff. It's expensive, though. Comes with everything else. It's connected to their shipwright yard, their woodcutter's lodge, and obviously their own guild hall and stuff. And then you got the one that sits.
I look down at my ratty-ass clothes and be like, probably not the one for me.
The other guard goes, and just looks away, and the guard kind of just smacks that dude on the shoulder, and he looks back at you, and he goes, "Well, if you're looking for a normal one, then where coins not quite as important, but it's an inn. You'll be paying something." And he motions the other way up the road, and you see it's not even a block. It's like a building away. And you watch as you see a citizen and some other people going in there, and he's like, "Over there's the meander and meadery. It's a pretty good environment. It's newly set up, though, so don't expect anything fancy." From what I hear, though, the big 2-story part there is reserved for VIPs. Otherwise, you'll be having the normal commons rooms. Haven't slept there myself. We're stuck in the barracks in the far end of town that way. And he motions further south. You can see probably the biggest building on that end has a bunch of guards in front of it. You reckon that's probably the spot. He's like, so yeah, that's the one.
Alright, thank you. Last thing,
Hey,
you know if anyone around here needs any help getting ready for the festivals? New to the town, I'm looking for making a spot of coin here or there.
there's definitely spots to be made. Like I just pointed you, the meander and meadery, they usually got a lot of work from the citizenry up that way. And we've had a bit of trouble in the place. And he points across the street the other way, and you see another big store. But you see, like, the windows are kind of broken on one side, and there's actually, like, a hole torn in the roof with, like, a blanket thrown over it and some rocks holding it down. It's, like, half come open. And he's like, bit of monster attacks coming in. And he points to the plaza, and he's like, the masons went up in the valley a while ago to carve out some stone to bring back for the men here. But, well, they've been gone a while. Not sure what's up with that. But I imagine carving stone takes a while, so it's probably fine. But until them stones are here, we're at the mercy of whatever crawls down out of the valley. People say it was a big bird, but with a face, like a person's face, came out. Attacked the trade shop there, tried to get in. Attacked a couple other spots too, but wasn't as successful there. I'm sure there'll be someone talking about it down there at the meadery.
Yeah, perfect, thank you. My name's Ivor, by the way. Thanks for everything.
No problem. Have a good one. Be safe. Goddess watch you.
Thanks. Goddess watch you too. I walk.
Yep. And so as you walk away, you know, because you live in this area, a menhir is a long vertical stone. Think of like the big rectangular stones from like Stonehenge. But it's just a single one. It doesn't have anything next to it or on the side or like across the top or anything. And it is an ancient magic. They carve glyphs and symbols into these stones, and then they activate them with magic, and it creates an area that wards off certain kinds of creatures. In the case of Strega, it's usually beasts or monstrosities. And the more of them you have together and you create these sort of like stone circles, now more similar to Stonehenge, it multiplicatively makes that area of effect bigger and bigger. And so almost any major town, especially cities, has a huge organized sort of stone circle in the center that creates like a protective barrier, invisible, that stops beasts and monsters from wanting to go into town. And this town seems to be there in the steps of getting one ready, but it is not ready yet.
Right.
And they are known as menhir. menhir. It is a magic technology that existed since before the kingdom, and it seems the Empire is still utilizing it. But yeah, you make your way down to the meadery. And you step inside.
Yeah.
You come up, you see the sign there, you see the light coming out of the windows, cracks
What
from
was
under the
name of it
door.
again? Sorry,
Huh?
missed. What was the name of it again?
The meandering meadery.
Perfect.
Yep. And you see the sign, looks like a winding river with a wooden tankard floating above it. And you see in the center of the tankard is like the shape of like a dog's head with pointy ears. But the dog's head itself seems to have been burned to make it like a black color. Go ahead and give me an intelligence check, Wally. And you have advantage because of your background.
Ooh. I always forget it. That's not a saving throw, it's just a check, right?
Yep. D20 plus whatever your intelligence is.
11.
You recognize the symbol. And thinking back to some things that you were taught and that you've overheard in conversations with your previous employers, you think you remember what that means. You remember someone mentioning the black dog. It's an informant for some people you used to know.
Mm-hmm.
So you think whatever this place is might have a tie to certain groups. Or it's just coincidence. Maybe there's going to be a lovely little black Siberian sheepdog in here.
I'm gonna turn around and head to the other end.
All right. As you head on down to the other one, you kind of go underneath. It's like a big, kind of like a letter H. There's a big kind of underhang between these two buildings that show up, and there's like a big bridge connects them. So you walk over, there's even brighter lights coming from the window. You hear a bunch of people shouting and yelling. As you make your way inside, you see it is beautiful, heavily decorated. There's like stuffed fish trophies all along the walls. You see like a hammerhead shark is literally stuffed and hung from the ceiling with like a bunch of ropes under it, like a hammock. There are very well-dressed merchants and other sailors and things in here. There's like dozens of workers running around carrying things. It's bustling in here. There's smoke filling the ceiling. You see a lot of merchants are smoking from like pipes. You kind of go over to the entranceway and you look inside and you can see outside there are guards literally like watching. They kind of hold out a hand. They're like, "Hey, who are you?"
I'm just here trying to get some work. I was told that this is the place to help out. Maybe get a cup of coin. Oh, Ivar, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah, cool. Whoever you are. If you come to make coin, I hope you're ready to spend it too. This place is rather expensive, and I don't know if... he looks you up and down. He goes, I don't know if, you dragging around in the mud's going to get this place dirty or not. How much coin you got on you? There's an entry fee.
Sadly not much. Are you sure there's nothing I could do? Like, no jobs? Nothing?
Nah. I mean, if you can't even pay the entry fee. And the other guy just kind of giggles a bit. He's like, I can't say we got any need for someone who's, poor.
Wow. Well, your buddies down the road said this was the place to be, so I just was following them. They didn't say anything about an entry fee. I guess I'll just go ask them about it, and maybe they can
go
help.
do that. Yeah, and remember to tell them about that entry fee over here by the Brothers of Port Guild Hall.
Alright. I'm just gonna try to get out of line of sight and just go around the back of the building and hope there's another door.
All right, yeah, go ahead and give me a stealth check.
Alright. 17?
All right. You're like, yeah, of course. And as soon as you're around the corner, you just sort of bend down and start skirting around the sides of the building. You come to the back and kind of start peeking into the windows. And you see there's a back door. And it kind of opens up and you can see a bigger guy come out with a bucket and just sort of throws like a bunch of crap out on the ground. You don't know if it's like a chamber pot or some old food or something. And he kind of looks up like he thinks he sees something, and he kind of looks around for a bit. And he goes, huh. Just shrugs his shoulders, walks inside, and shuts the door. There's just like, you're in this back sort of dark area. The sky is starting to slowly get brighter, and you see these columns of orange light coming out of the windows, illuminating like sort of stepping stones in this back section. You can still
I'm
hear
gonna
people.
walk in super confidently, try and make it seem like I know where I'm going, and just walk right in.
All right, you open up the door and you step in, and you are clearly in the kitchen of this establishment. You can see about 4 individuals running around cooking a bunch of stuff up. One of them kind of looks over, just sees the open door, and goes, huh? What? And the buddy next to him's like, no, not huh, give me eggs. I said 2 eggs. Wait, what? Who the hell are you? And the kitchen just sort of stops what they're doing, and they're all like, what? Like slowly, one by one, realizing that something's happening.
I'm just gonna keep walking, try to get out of the kitchen.
The big guy kind of rounds the counter and kind of steps in front of you and goes, hey, who are you? Oh, that's loud. Why? There we go. He's like, and who might you be?
Oh, name's Ivar. Nice to meet you. I got meeting with my friend up ahead, so I just need to get by.
Okay, go ahead and give me a deception check.
Just nailing the excuses. Perception or deception.
Yep.
Nat 20, 25.
He goes, all right, but don't come in through the back, and take off your cloak before you get out there. Can't have you dragging mud.
I take it off. I hang it up on some. Hopefully, there's a coat rack somewhere.
He just takes it from you and like walks over and hangs it over like across the ledge.
Perfect.
Or no, he doesn't even hang it inside. He literally pushes open a window and hangs like the dirty bottom end out the window and just like drapes it on the windowsill.
Perfect.
And just shakes his head and like wipes his hand off on his pants and goes back to work. And the one next to you, he kind of holds his hand out and he gets 2 eggs in his hand. He goes, out that door, right there. Yep, by the window where we're putting the trays.
Perfect. Thank you. And
You open up and then just this hustle and bustle of the tavern's going on outside, and you are in the tavern. You look over by the entranceway, a big open double door entryway. Both the guards are standing there. They're back towards you. They're not looking inside at all. They're watching for people coming in and out. You look around and there's a bunch of sailor types and merchant type of people in here. A couple town guard are celebrating, clanking tankards and stuff.
I guess I'd go up to the barkeep area.
Yep. You
or
walk
wherever
in,
you'd order
it's this
food.
sort of very tight square bar, huge barrels stacked up like a card tower on the back. A couple taps going off. There's 2 different bartenders as they're kind of pouring drinks, and one goes, "Hey, how are you?" Kind of yelling over the hustle and bustle. "Welcome."
Hey, Ivar. It seems like a lot of people want to know who I am today. Yeah, name's Ivar. I was told there's good food here and plenty of work.
Our food
So,
we've got for days. If you're looking for work, though, the citizens need it more than we do. We got the funding of the Brothers of Port on our side. I can get you some food, and then if you want to head on over to the Meander and Meadery, they're the one with the quest board.
Of course, I should have known about the quest board. Are you sure there's no merchants in here
We got plenty of merchants.
that need a helping hand?
You'd have to ask them.
Well, I look for any merchants.
You look around and you see a number of well-dressed individuals. Some are playing cards, some have money on the table. A couple of these merchants have looks like sailor types with them, swords and stuff on their hips, perhaps bodyguards or sell swords to protect them on their travels.
What game are they playing?
You look and it just looks like normal cards.
Okay.
Just,
okay.
1 through 10,
Not just
Jack, King,
happen to be
Queen.
Dice.
You look around and you see there is one table where they do seem to be rolling dice.
Well, I head to that table.
You come over and
That's
you can
big,
see.
but there's a merchant there.
Maybe you look over.
Well,
There's
somebody pays
a
the
well-dressed individual there, and he's like, "All right, come on. Papa needs a new pair of shoes." And a woman who is there with them, the dealer of sorts, she takes the dice, puts them in a cup, smacks against the ground, and she looks side to side, and one of the guards goes, "Odd." The merchant goes, "Even." And she lifts the cup, and it's 3 and a 2, and the guard's like, "Yeah, those shoes are mine!" And the merchant's like, "You cheated!" And he's like, "It's dice, sir. I didn't even cheat. Didn't even touch the cup." It's clearly the lady's touch as he gives her a wink. And he's like, "Fuck this game. I'm tired of it." And he looks over and goes, he's like, "What are you looking at, dirty feet?" You look down, your shoes are caked in mud.
I'm sad to see you lose. I mean, I can teach you a few things if you'd want. I got luck on lady luck on my side from time to time.
And the guard's like, "Think you stand a better chance? Come on down, take a seat. If you can win, I'll give the guy back what he wants. But if you lose, well, let's see. Yeah, what do you got on you?"
I pull out my sack of coin, which is how much? 14 gold.
They're like, "Oh, big spender here, wagering 14 gold, huh?"
Let's just say 10 gold. 10 gold.
Almost everything I have.
Holy shit. All right. And the woman goes, well then, sir, please pull up a chair. The guard smacks the guy next to him, like, in the face. Pushes on him, and that guard's like, fuck, God, just super mad. Gets up and kind of kicks the chair as he walks away, gives you a mean look, and just walks past you. And he goes, come on. Take a seat.
I sit.
You pull up in, and he goes, all right, this is odd and even. It's a game of luck and chance. Our lovely lady here gives her another wink, and she kind of winks back at him, and he goes, 2 dice go in this cup. She shakes it, slams it on the table.
How about we mix it up and we have the merchant do it, since it's his... I'm working for him, or not. It's his money that I'm trying to get back.
You just saw him lose, and you want to just go off his luck.
Yeah, I got faith in the man. I think it's gonna all turn around right here.
He stares at you like he's judging you and seeing if you have some sort of trick, but you see he's kind of wobbling with alcohol, and he gets too impatient just thinking about it too long. He goes, all right, fine. Yeah, sure. I beat him once. Let's keep the trend going. And he rolls the table. He rolls the dice across the table, and he goes, come on. Your winnings and his are on the line, and for some reason he's decided you, this complete stranger, is for the better for it. Ma'am, if you would. And he reaches in his pocket, and he pulls out a big hand of coin, and you see there's about 7 gold, 7 silver, and in it is there's a throwing knife, and he goes, oh shit, sorry, and he puts that back in his pocket, and you kind of wince at that a bit. You're like, wow, weird, a town guard throwing knives. Usually it's swords and spears or swords and shields.
Mm-hmm.
And then he reaches in his pocket and digs again, pulls out 2 more gold and lays it down. He's like, get ready, sir. I'm betting most of your gold on this. If you get it back, it missed you. If you don't, well, it'll keep missing you. Miss, go ahead and roll. And he looks at you and he goes, so, hope you're ready, newcomer.
I believe we agreed the merchant would roll. Thank you very much.
Well, the woman rolls. You guys just place the bet.
Alright.
And so the woman picks up the dice, shakes them around a bit. The man grabs her hand and kind of slowly pulls it towards her, and he blows in the dice. And then, still holding her hand, kind of offers it to you two, and he goes, well, want to blow?
No thanks. I don't blow another man's dice.
The woman giggles a bit, and he kind of just gets a little angry and kind of pushes her arm away, and he goes, all right. Well then, and he looks back to the merchant, and he goes, so how about it, you two? Odd or even?
Odd.
Looks to the merchant. The merchant's angrily eyeballing you, and he looks back to the man, and he goes, odd. And he goes, heh. Well then, it's even for me, love. Wouldn't you go ahead and do me a solid there? And she winks back at him again, and she starts shaking the cup, and she keeps shaking it, and keeps shaking it, and keeps shaking it. You can tell she's trying to build dramatic tension, trying to make everybody have a good time, her being an entertainer here. And then she slams the cup down. And she just starts slowly looking back and forth between each of the parties. And she picks the dice up. But she doesn't pick the cup up all the way. She only tilts it back and slides it back a little bit, revealing one of the dice, which is a 3.
Oh,
she still has the other die hidden. And the guy goes, oh, he's like, love, you are a tease. So, perhaps you gentlemen want to change your mind before we see the last one, eh?
No.
And he's like, confidence, I like it. And he looks back over and he goes, ma'am, pull the cup away. And she pulls it away, revealing the last of the D6s. As a 2, it is odd.
Easy money.
And he goes, what? And he starts laughing. The merchant just goes, oh, that is a shame, sir. Just reaches across, slides the coin over to his side, and he goes, it seems you underestimated me and my companion here. Good show. Sorry, I have a bit of drink. I've forgotten your name.
It's Ivar. Friend.
Ivar, how could I possibly forget? Geed.
Yeah.
The name's Geed. Remember your friend?
Yeah, of course, Guy. I mean, He didn't even have to.
The town guard just rolls his eyes. He can clearly tell it's bullshit. And he goes, whatever, dice is dice. And he kind of flicks one of the coins and it shoots off the table across the way. And it ting, 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 bounces off the door and he goes, go ahead, take your money, be out with it. The coin flies out the door between the two guards from before. And one of them kind of looks down and sees it and goes, oh shit, free silver. And the other one goes, hey, there are merchants right behind us. You know they saw that happen. And he goes, oh fuck, you're right. And he reaches down, picks up the coin, and starts walking inside. And he's like, hey, I don't know who it was, but did someone forget a coin? You! How'd you get in here? And everyone just suddenly gets all wide-eyed, and they don't know what they're talking about. And they see he's talking to you, and suddenly the whole tavern starts staring at you, Ivor. He's like, I told you to get out! And he throws the coin again, and his buddy behind him is like, oh shit, and catches it. And he starts marching over towards you. No weapons out. His stuff's still on his back, and he starts running at you.
I'm just gonna hide behind, or like step behind Geed and be like,
Well, Geed's sitting at the table.
yeah, I'm just gonna like have, like position myself that he would have to walk through or past Geed before he gets to me, is basically all I meant.
Yep.
Like, Geed, you mind helping me out a little bit here?
As the guard's coming right up, the guard reaches out, grabs you by the collar of your shirt, and pulls you in. And he's like, you and me are gonna have a time in the stocks. And Geed turns in his chair and reaches his hand up and pats the guard's chest, and he goes, he's like, oh. He's like, hands down, Mr. Knight, hands down. This is my good friend, Ivor. What?
Yeah, I told you I was coming to meet him.
And he kind of looks back and forth. He goes, it's fine, it's fine. He's like, oh, and thank you so much for grabbing my coin from me earlier. And the other guard walks in and hands it to him. And he goes, thank you so much, sirs. Now then, pats him on the elbow, and the guard slowly releases your collar while giving you a very questionable look. He goes, everything's fine here. We just got a little too into a game, if you know how gambling is. I know you guards around here have taken quite a liking to it, if I'm not mistaken. And the guard just sighs and he goes, sorry, I jumped to conclusions there a bit. No, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Thank you for your good service, sir. Of course. Sorry for the intrusion. And he just looks at you straight in the eyes, Ivor, as he's walking away. He's like, please, keep enjoying the game. And he just walks back to the door.
I want to say the phrase that other guard said to me, like, the goddess's blessing to you as he leaves.
Goddess watch you. And
yeah, goddess watch you.
You fucking God, fucking piss me, fucking God. And he just walks away. The other guard's like, well, I'm not sober enough to not punch someone losing at this game again. Have a good one, Geed. And walks away. And the woman picks up her dice and walks away with the man. And he kind of takes her in his arms and they walk up the stairs and Geed goes, well then, Mr. Ivor. I don't know if that was luck or some sort of crafty trick, but I must thank you. It's a new pair of shoes on the way for me.
Just, anything for my good pal,
And
of
he
course.
takes the winnings that he just got, and he takes half of them. So he grabs 4 gold and 4 silver, pinched between his thumb, his middle finger, and his pointer finger, and he just hands them to you, and he goes, couldn't have done it without you. It's only right that I split it 50-50.
Oh, I appreciate it.
And he puts it in your hand. So, Ivor, and he looks around everyone, and you see they're still, like, everyone's gone back to what they're doing, but they're not quite paying attention too much anymore. But some are. And he goes, it's been some time, so, how's business in town?
Oh, that's actually what I came here to talk to you about, is,
I see.
just looking to see if you, had any need of someone maybe of my skill set that, or, yeah, I mean, you know my skill set. It's, just to help out around here, maybe for a few coin, I don't know.
Well, you've come to the right place, certainly. Good old Geed here knows what he's doing.
Of course.
So, if you could help me out with a few things before I leave back to Norstrand, yeah, I'll gladly pay you. And he kind of looks around a bit and leans into you, and he goes, all right, well, you see, there's some information I'm looking for down here. And, yeah, apparently there's, I don't know why you're here, Ivor, but if you could just go around town asking some questions, try and figure out who all's working here and who's really working for who, that would be mighty appreciative. You seem like you got a good eye for betting on the other horse. Perhaps you could figure it out.
Yeah, no problem, of course.
Yeah, so basically what I'm looking for is looking for information. I need to find out if the Iron Foxes have any influence down this way. And you immediately are kind of triggered because you know exactly who that is.
Okay.
And you have a history with them.
Okay.
He's like, well, though the church has influence here in Avenglen, now that it's getting bigger, it seems all the neighbors are trying to get some influence too. We got some masons from Stone Earth, some of the agents of Vested are up here, and apparently the town master, good old, where's it at? Why can't I find it? Hold up, give me a sec.
Yeah, no problem.
He's like, good old Sten. He's a bootlicker from Lord Orsiv up in Nordstrand. He's down here trying to make sure everything goes well, and some of his boys in the Iron Fox are down this way. If you could just find out if anyone here's in the Iron Fox, that'd be mighty helpful. And I have a feeling, because town guards don't carry throwing knives, that might be a good place to start. Might be the barracks. Or the town guard, just asking around.
Yeah, I'll get right on it. Where can I report back to you, or how would you?
I'll head back this way. Here are the Brothers of Port. It's their guild hall. They got a lot of shipbuilding and other things going on in here. It's probably the wealthiest building in here. This whole damn establishment. But I don't know where their eyes and ears are, so you might want to check around a bit. A lot of citizens head over to the meandering meadery. Probably the common folk are going to have a more tongue and ear to them than more of these merchants and boys that are already under loyalties to other organizations here. And if you're really looking for coin, citizens post all of their problems over that way. It's a double win for you, and a win for me.
Of course, I mean, a good partnership is always where everyone's winning.
Absolutely. Well then, Ivor, and he holds a hand out to you. I look
shake
forward
it.
to our continued partnership.
And I look forward to seeing your new pair of shoes. Have a good one.
I like you, Ivor. I like you. And he gets up and kind of wanders off.
I head back out through the kitchen.
The kitchen all stops and just stares at you, and you see the big buff dude, kind of black hair pulled back, and he just looks down, sees your dirty shoes, and he just points to your dirty ass cloak in the back door.
Grab it and head out, and wave to them goodbye.
As you leave, before the door shuts, you hear someone yell, "Come in through the front next time," and the door just cuts him off. And then, where are you heading?
I will head to the meandering meadery again, I guess.
Alright.
I actually head inside this time.
Right, you head in, and you see a number of individuals in here. Over by the counter, you can see a man in very similar but different color, just a big ratty cloak. Looks like it was stitched together, sitting there talking to the bar owner. All the way down the bar from him, you see a man in a cloak, and there's a huge crossbow leaned up against the wall next to him. Amongst the center of the room, you see many different townsfolk sitting and talking. There's like an older gentleman talking at a table with a younger lady and looks like a bookworm or some sort of scholar, a man with glasses. In the far back corner, in like the shaded corner, you see 4 cloaked individuals, and you recognize the cloak instantly upon entering. Those are the sort of trained divine agents of the church. They are known as the thaumaturges. Seems some of them are in town. And you just kind of look around. You see the quest board in the far distance, as in the middle of kind of talking to this guy in front of him, handing him a cup of honey mead. The tavern owner, you see a tall, well-dressed, thin man, very lean, with white hair kind of pulled back behind into a small ponytail, kind of little gruffly, wavy, white-gray beard. Looks over to you and he goes, "Welcome, welcome. What can we get for you there, guy?"
I probably mutter under my breath, like as I'm walking up, like, fuck, I should have ate at the other place. Whatever you got for breakfast,
And it is getting brighter out now. The whole sky's starting to light up.
yeah,
Well, we've got boiled eggs and a bit of quail, if that's your thing.
that sounds perfect.
All right, then. He's like, that'll be 5 copper.
Nice.
Need a
Slide
drink?
those over.
Oh, never mind then. And he throws an empty tankard in front of you, and he leans back into like a window that he pushes open like a shutter, and he goes, he's like, do we have those eggs? You hear a female voice. Yeah? All right, that and a quail for our, the young, well, he kind of eyeballs you up and down from what he can see from the counter. He's like, young, well-traveled gentleman out here next to the man in the white cloak, and you hear, you mean the tattered boat sail? And he's like, yep, that's the one, and just shuts the door behind him. And he comes back out, and he goes, that'll just be ready in a little bit, sir. And he's like, welcome, though, to the meandering meadery.
I'm gonna go over and grab the note on the bulletin board and bring it back up to the bar so I can read it.
All right. You come over there, and you grab it, kind of bring it in, and sit down. At this time, the man has filled up a tankard of ale for you, Ivor. And he goes, here you are. He's like, the drink will be on the house for the silver.
Oh, what a guy.
And he looks over to you, Kalul, and he's like, you just take a minute or two reading that. See if it catches your fancy at all, and remember my offer from before. He's like, and then if you want to grab any other quests from over there, go ahead. Town's not rich, but it's getting there. So the coin's going to be flowing here before too long.
I need coin, or I have it.
And then your ears perched because you're a chair away, Ivor.
Yep.
And you're just hearing that whole little exchange. Meanwhile, though, walking in from the port is Amryn. You have asked around port. Go ahead and give me a investigation check.
Okay. Do that first. 16.
All right. You go around town and start asking the sailors and traveled people carrying boxes in from boats, those that are still just like kicked back sleeping against some barrels. You even go up to the guards in front of what looks like a very fancy hall, and as you're questioning them about this place, you see people shouting and yelling inside about gambling, a guy yelling about a new pair of shoes. And the guard looks at you and goes, well, I don't know about any weird shadowy creature with burning coal eyes, but I think about a day ago the town got attacked by a weird flying shadowy creature. It's been a day since then. There should be a mission down there in the tavern that way. I imagine the trade store is going to want their supplies back. I think a couple things got stolen.
And you said it was a shadowy creature?
It was in the night, so we didn't really see it. The only thing we really saw was shadows, but the weird burning coal things you were explaining, that doesn't ring any bells, but definitely something dark attacking in the night.
Well, it's at least a start. You said the building over here would have more information?
Yeah, Meander and Meadery's the name.
Meadery. All right. Thank you, sir.
No problem. It's just up that way. And as he's walking away, the other guard leans over. You can hear him kind of whispering over your shoulder. One goes, Isn't that the uniform of the knights? Yeah, it is. That's why I wasn't going to tell him to pay me an entrance fee. And the other guard goes, I'm surprised some people believe you when you do that. I know, but it's the quickest, easiest coin I've ever made. And, you walk around the building, and you see the straight shot up a kind of dirty cobblestone path, and you can see a sign hanging up ahead as the sun's now coming up, letting you see further in the night. The meandering meadery.
Would I have seen, like, any armory anywhere?
Yeah, as you are crossing where the two cobblestone streets cross, the far rightmost corner in the direction you're heading, there is a smith shop. The corner of the roof comes to where the cobblestone meets in the corner, and there's a wooden pillar that supports the roof to this big sort of open smithing area. And you see there all these smith's tools are like locked away in boxes and stuff. But whoever works that smithy still appears to be asleep. There are no lights on in the house.
Well, I'll still go into the smithy and ring a bell or whatever I see to try and get somebody's attention.
You walk in, and there's no bell of sorts, but you do see a hammer and anvil. And you pick up the hammer and just start smashing it against the anvil. King, 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 king. You begin hearing something rumble around inside. And kind of pushing open one of the doors, a guy in his clothes, just kind of messed up, ratty, kind of very brunettish, dirty, blonde hair, kind of pokes his head out, bigger, rotund guy, and he goes, small mustache on his face, and his eyes are like switching between open and closed, like alternating eyes left and right, and he goes, what? He's like, oh, you crazy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry to have awakened you, sir. I'm just in need of assistance.
And he just kind of looks over, sees you standing next to the hammer and the anvil, and he looks back up at you, and he goes, how about you come back when I'm awake? Huh?
Well, I'm kind of in a hurry, and just...
And I'm kind of sleeping. If you want a service done, being rude's probably the last thing you do, huh?
I understand that, sir. I did not mean to wake you. I just am...
I didn't mean to wake me. Just walked into my shop, started banging a hammer on an anvil. And you see he's like slowly starting to wake up. And he starts to kind of get a better look at you. And he goes, wait, are you a knight?
Yes, I am.
And his eyes pop open, and he kind of stands up straight, and he goes, oh, pardon the, sorry about that. Didn't mean to, be rude. What can I do for you, sir?
It was me being rude. I apologize for coming in at such an early hour. I just...
No, I didn't recognize the outfit. I'm sorry.
No worries. Just during my travels, I seem to have lost my shield and was wanting to get a new one. Wanting to see what you have available.
Oh, of course. And he looks around, and he's like, one moment, and he runs back inside, and you can hear him kind of fumbling on some things. And he's like, okay, come on, it's got to be in here somewhere. Where the hell I put the thing? I was just using it yesterday. As he's kind of looking around, he pops back out of the door, and he has a ring of keys in his hand, and he comes over to a big box and just starts kind of undoing the box. Flicks it open, and you can see like different pieces of armor, sheets of chainmail, splinter and scale mail, and he reaches in and slides out a big thing of metal, and he goes, here we are. It's a buckler shield. It's simple. I mean, made it in stock. It'll do the trick. And you know what? For insulting you, I'll give you a bit of a discount too. 7 gold.
Is it like a solid metal, or is it wood too?
As you look at it, it is solid metal, and there appears to be a block of wood bolted on the inside. So it's a circular sheet of metal. It's got 4 bolts in the center, and you see on the other side those connect to a block of wood on the inside that have leather straps bound to it where your arm slides in.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. I'll pay the 7 gold. That sounds great.
Yes, of course. Sorry about that. Again, I didn't mean any offense. I didn't recognize the uniform. Right away.
Oh, no offense taken, sir. It's my fault for coming in here in such a rush.
No, it's fine. I take it you're here to, I guess, oversee the construction of the church, or maybe you've heard about the fact we ain't got our stones up yet, and village got attacked. No, that was yesterday. No way you heard about that.
I did hear something about an attack. I'm actually looking into that myself right now.
How are you then? Well, I don't know how you heard about it so fast, but, yeah, yesterday, a bunch of weird floating, flying shadows dove on into town, and they tore up the trade shop pretty bad, tried to come in through the windows, and they clawed their way through the roof and stole a bunch of stuff out of the trade shop.
You said shadows.
Yeah, well, it was in the middle of the night. We couldn't see what it was. I was out here hammering away. Couldn't see in the dark at all. I was blinded because I've been staring at the lights of the forge all day, so to me it was just black, and I heard the weird screeching and cackling.
Well, I've been told to go over to the meander and meadery for some additional information. Is that probably the best place for me to go?
Yep, sounds about right. It's where all the citizenry goes to drink and eat. It's not as expensive as the big old port house down that way.
Okay, well, I thank you for the shield.
No problem. No problem at all. If you or any of the other knights needs any work done, you let me know. And he kind of holds back a yawn.
Yes, I will send them right to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Ergen. Ergen's the name. Ergen and the Ironworks.
Right. Well, thank you for your help, Ergen. Once again, I'm sorry for waking you so early, but I appreciate your quick assistance.
No problem, no problem. And your name? You know.
My name, you can just Amron. Amron's fine.
All right. Sir Amron. Good luck. Good luck with whatever it is you find.
Oh, thank you.
He goes back inside after locking the crate up again.
Okay. And then I'll head over to the meadery.
All right. As you are heading over to the meadery, you hear heavy horse clops. A number of people riding into town, and you look over and you can see about 5 or 6 or so horses kind of park up in the middle of town. The guards kind of come up to greet them, and these people kind of throw their hoods back, and they're wearing helmets. They are also knights. And they seem to be talking to the guards.
Same as me?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I pull my hood up over my head from my cloak, and I quickly make my way over to the tavern.
All right. As we begin heading over to the tavern, you see out from the alleyways off to your right, or my bad, to your left, you see a number of other cloaked individuals coming around the corner, and they also seem to be heading into the meadery ahead of you. They go in the door after they look up, point at the sign, and they all kind of nod at each other and go in. You continue your way there as you open the door, and you head inside. You can see a number of individuals. You recognize the church's thaumaturges in the far back corner. You see these cloaked figures that just came in, heavily robed, not showing any skin. The thaumaturges immediately have their eyes on them and are watching their every move as they come in and take a seat. You see a bunch of citizens hanging out, some scholars, some old, some young, men and women. Up at the counter, you see against the far side over by the quest board is a robed individual with a huge crossbow, and the barmaster appears to be talking to 2 individuals, one that you're pretty sure is wearing a shitty blanket, and the other one is wearing a mud-covered traveling cloak, who is just now getting what looks like a plate of quail and eggs placed in front of him. The barmaster looks over and he goes, "Hey!" He's like, "Welcome. Come on in. Come, take a seat."
So I throw my cloak kind of around me a little bit more to try and hide my armor.
Mm-hmm. He kind
Just
of
keep myself closed in.
Yep, he steps away to kind of get some stuff ready. The other barmaid that's working, shorter, dark hair, has a little bit of her stomach and her legs showing, comes over, walks behind the counter to clean a few dishes. She turns around, takes a quick scan of the whole tavern, kind of leans over to the barkeep, and you guys can hear her. She goes, "A lot of people trying to keep the hoods up today, isn't there?" And he goes, "Yep, sure is. You'll see that kind of thing from time to time. Either it's coincidence or..." And he kind of looks and starts eyeballing all the doors in and out. And she goes, yeah, I know. And she goes back to cleaning, and he goes, "Well then, a new arrival. Another face I don't recognize." He's like, and you sound like you bear a bit of a heavy load, as he can hear the metal of your armor clanking under the cloak. Can't see your armor because the cloak. But yeah.
Right. Yes, I'm actually just trying to get some additional information on. I hear about some shadow monster creatures that seemed to attack the village just yesterday.
Ah, indeed, they have. Not sure what it is. Something came attacking in the middle of the night and messed up the trade shop a bit. Tried to sneak into some other places. But the trade shop's the biggest one. They stole a couple things from him. If I remember what the owner said, is it wasn't anything too crazy. It was... I think it was all cooking utensils and a couple weapons. Some rations. That was about it. Weird thing for something to steal, but stole a lot of it. So... And, well, we don't have too much of that out here, so the trade shop owner's looking to get some of that back. I think that's another mission up there on the board. Just track down her supplies and bring them back. Then, of course, there's the mystery of what those things were, where they are, what they did, etc. And then there is, and he looks over the board and he goes, oh, and he looks back and he points towards, you see, the man who you're pretty sure is wearing a shitty blanket. And you look and you recognize, do you have a hood up at all, Johnny?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you look over and there's hopefully a humanoid under the hood.
Like, the hood is, like, ridiculously large.
Yeah, it's like going shoulder to shoulder. It's like a fucking Jedi hood. And he smells horrible. Like, I'm talking like brine and fish. And
We call him the tattered boat sail around here.
Yeah, I am the dreaded tattered sail.
Eat his food, trying not to salivate.
Yeah. So as you're eating your food, Ivor, just having a great time, you look over and you can just barely make out under the cloak. This dude is just eyeballing that boiled egg on the edge of the plate. You're like, you think he's reading, but like the silhouette of the shape of his head under the hood tells you he's looking about 45 degrees to the side at your food. Did you say you hand him the egg?
I will hand him half of it.
You watch him go over and grab this squishy, bouncy white egg as he pinches it and tears it in half. Suddenly there's this weird yellow yolk underneath it, and he hands you half of it.
Oh.
I didn't think that if it was cooked or not.
I greedily scoop it up.
So tattered boat sail, what job there you got?
What job do I got?
So on the paper is a request to head up into the valley and check on the paper. It says Colin Ollie's mason, or the Colin Ollie's masonry and prospecting. And it is a quest to... Yeah, they went up into the mountains to collect and carve stones to be brought back to town to be used as menhir. You, as you're reading this, you have no idea what the fuck a menhir is. But apparently, from what you gather on the rest of this paper, is they went out into the valley to get something and bring it back. And it's not on the paper, but from what the bar owner said, is that they've been gone a good while. And no one's seen or heard from them. So they just want someone to go check and make sure they're alive.
What is the reward for said?
Look down. It seems to be, it's just a go and double check sort of thing. So it looks to be 100 gold.
My eyes nearly, like, explode out of my head. Sir, I accept that quest.
The bar owner's like, well, that's good to hear.
Yes.
You just have, like, egg on the side of your face. You're like, yes.
Excuse me, good sir. Turn to the guy who gave me his egg. It appears to be a quest to go check for a couple individuals that are missing. The fee is quite generous. And I am quite poor.
Huh. You wouldn't need some help on that, would you? Never hurts to have company. Or,
Like a 50-50 split. 50 gold is still quite a lot of gold. It's
Yeah.
more gold than I currently possess. And you have generously shared half of your meal.
yeah, so we should probably go like 60-40, right?
You shared half the egg, so I think half the gold seems reasonable.
That's fair, that's fair.
That's when he says, well, the egg was only 10% of my total meal.
No, I won't go into all that.
But I would be more than happy to have a companion for. Are you from the area? I do not know this. I do not know this land very well.
Well, I'm from up north in Norstrad, but newish to this region, so we'll be finding it out together.
Well, you seem like you'd be an excellent guide then.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah, we'll nail this.
Amron, you are, in the same way that they're about a chair apart from each other, you are also about a chair away, and you're just listening into all this.
By the way, what's your... I was just gonna ask you that. My name's Ivar, and I can't keep calling you Tethered Boat Sail, so, what's yours?
Or will he?
I'm Kalul, the learned.
The bartender just eyeballs you, and then goes back to working.
Alright, well, Kalul the, learned. I look forward to traveling with you after we finish eating. I'm quite peckered myself, or quite
He's peckered.
hungry. I guess I can't think of what the word I wanted to use.
Famished.
Famished, yes. Famished myself. Not quite to your degree, but
Yes. Hopefully, I will have lots of warm meals after we successfully complete our mission.
yeah, I assume you're not for around here. You're definitely not dressed for the weather to come. That's for sure.
I believe this robe is quite fitting. I mean,
Well,
and if you looked at the stitchwork does look pretty nice.
it's just a blanket.
It looks,
And-
I mean, it looks like a sail that's been fashioned into a robe.
Amron, you lean over as you're seeing this, and yeah, like you also can recognize it. It is some oddly very good stitchwork. You've seen good stitchwork like this before.
Right. Barkeep, you were starting to point to the note this person under the sheet has. Does that go along with the?
It is a robe, good sir. And I'm
sorry.
Kalul.
Yeah, Kalul over there. Your robe, right? Does that go along with these shadow creatures? Is that something mixed with this?
No telling. It's there's a lot of quests lately. A lot of stuff. Could
Does
have a
the,
connection, might not. That one's just about going and checking up on some people because they haven't been back in a while, and the other one's about checking in on some shadow creatures that attack the town. On the surface, doesn't sound like they have anything in common, but who knows? The world's full of weird coincidences.
Does anybody know where the shadow creatures came from? Like, is that part of any of the quests, or?
The cloaked individual on the other end, at the very end of the table with the crossbow, looks over and goes, he's like, well, I've questioned a bit of the people from around, and if anything, they didn't see it, but they heard the cackling. Said it came from the east into the valley. I don't know about no shadow monsters, but to me, it sounds like some sort of flying beast. Could only have come from the valley unless there's something flying in from the ocean, but I'm likely thinking the valley.
Does the valley in the same direction as the lost people that you're looking for?
The hooded guy with the crossbow kind of goes back to drinking, and the barkeep kind of looks back between you two, and he's like, "Yep, it's the same direction."
All right then. Well, thank you, good sir, for pointing me in the right direction, and I guess I will be heading out that way.
I see. Well, good luck there. And the door opens up, and you see, Amarin, all of the knights that arrived on horseback come walking in the door. And
I sit back down and kind of pull everything in a little bit closer, and I scoot a little bit closer to the stinky guy.
right, which is Ivar, because he's in the middle of you guys.
Right. I just kind of get in close, like I'm kind of a part of the group.
See, the barkeep kind of raises an eyebrow, and he kind of looks back and forth between the knights, the thaumaturges, the new cloaked guys that walked in, all of you guys, and he's like, "Uh-oh." Kind of has this look of, "Oh, shit." And the knights kind of look up, and they go, like, "Everyone stay still. Nobody leaves." And everyone's like, "What?" It goes quiet, and they all stare, and the barkeep's like, "Sirs, might I ask what the problem is? To come in here and start making an issue of my bar. Or my tavern, whatever the hell it is." And he goes, and the guy's like, "Yes, we're on the trail of a deserter. Someone who has forsook the goddess's blessing and ran off on their own fancy whims. And they've done this time and time again, and they are now seen as a criminal in the eyes of the Empire. Witnesses on the road say this individual is traveling this way. As he is no longer a part of the Knights, everything on him is stolen, and we also intend to get it back. He is a thief, a traitor, a liar."
Audibly gasp.
As you gasp, all the knights look at you. And he sees 3 people in traveling cloaks, 2 of them with heavy hoods where you can't see the faces. And the knight looks back and he goes, "Those 3, check them out." And 3 of the knights start heading over to your guys' way. There's about 3 more by the door. And
I stand up and approach them.
You stand up and they all stop, but keep coming towards you. And they kind of almost reach for their weapons as they get like right up to you.
Oh, calm down, gentlemen. I'm sure this is just some sort of misunderstanding.
Take off the robe.
We are, but there's nothing underneath it. I do not believe you wish for.
Take off the robe.
I just pull back the hood.
And you all see a half-elf.
Oh, gross.
Like an odor wafts when the hood comes.
As he pulls off the hood, it is like a lid to that brine and fish smell, and just starts pouring out from under the boat sail. You see one of the knights audibly gasp. He's like, "Ugh." The other one kind of winces.
As soon as he does that, I am going to try and stealth behind the bar, like try and get around to the other side of the
You were sitting in a bar surrounded by dudes.
Well, but I mean, didn't he go back to them?
Well, they're all, like, he has stood up and walked about 3 feet away from his chair, and the guards are, like, right on him.
That would have been more than, like, a few steps.
Yeah. The 3 guards by the door, one points toward the other 2, and he points toward all the other cloaked guys, and he goes, "Check them out, too." As you stand up and pull your hood off, Khalul, the 3 hooded people over by the table stand up and start power marching towards you. And the 2 knights that are going towards them are like, "Hey, stop right there." And they just ignore them, and he goes, "We said stop right there." And they grab him and try to stop him, and he smacks his hand away. And the knight, shing, draws a long sword and points it at him and goes, "I bet you're the fucker we're looking for." And
Wait, who is the sword drawn at?
one of the knights that came in to look for this traitor knight has pulled out a sword and pointed it at the 3 other mysterious cloaked figures that walked in a little bit ago.
Okay, I put up my hands on my gentlemen. I do not know if this is strange custom of your land.
And they're all like sitting there, and he goes, you hear the under the hood, it looks at the knight, and he goes, away with you. That is the one we seek. And he goes, no, we're the ones seeking someone here. Sit down. No. What? No, we are busy. And he goes, oh, you're going to be real busy when my sword's down your fucking throat. Sit down, this is imperial business. We care not for your imperial needs. We are here seeking a thief. Oh, isn't that a coincidence? So are we. That's probably our thief. Wait a minute, actually, I bet you are.
I'm going to start stepping back a little bit towards Ivar.
As you start stepping back, the other knight grabs his sword and he goes, where you going there, bud? The knight by the door is like looking around and he's like, what is going on here?
Surely we can resolve this peacefully.
You, the smelly one, shut up! This isn't about you. I don't even know who you are. And the cloaked ones off to the side are like, we know who he is. We come seeking him. He is a thief. Wait, we're looking for a thief. Would you... Who are you travelers?
Half Eggman, we should probably go.
You see the barkeep by the time he is like, you see he's kind of tapping his fingers on the table. Just kind of like, whoo, this is getting a little crazy. And he's like looking around. And you, Ivar, instantly recognize the Morse code of thieves can't. Mm-hmm. And he is asking the two barmaids to go grab the equipment. And you see one of the barmaids just sort of pick up one of the plates she's washing, and she does the same thing and just kind of Morse codes it along the desk, and she makes it look like she's trying to get all the water off the plate before she sets it down. And she starts walking over to the back and pushes open that shutter and starts whispering to the one that's back there cooking. And she hands these 3 little balls in her hands, and she just sort of quickly curls them like down her sleeve and turns back around. She shuts the shutter, and you can hear the one in the back getting ready and running off somewhere.
Are there any, like, I don't know, any wall decorations or anything?
No, there's nothing in here. As I was saying when you first arrived, it looks like a fresh, brand new room without decoration, kind of boring outside of the tables and chairs.
Kind of like opposite of where I'm standing. Are there, like, drinks on a table or anything?
Yeah, there are some, not opposite to you, but straight to your left, about 15 feet, there is a table of citizens that are next to where all the cloaked figures have a sword pointed at them, and they're like in shock, freaking out, and they have tankards and plates on their table and stuff. And the one knight's like, what's up, Wally?
I want to make sure I'm not positioned between the barkeep, barmaids, and everybody else. Like, I want to make sure I'm out of the way of whatever the fuck.
So where you guys are sitting, it's you standing there. You're like third seat from the end, Ivor. Khalul is the seat on the very end, and he has stood up, and he is standing there with some guards at him. One seat away from you to your right is Amryn, who is like under a hood, like, oh shit.
Yeah.
The bar stretches about 15 more feet, and then in front of you guys is where the bar and like the back room to the kitchen are, and then there's about 25 feet of just room behind you filled with tables. The door is just past Ivor where the guards are, or Khalul where the guards are pointing at him. The door is wide open, and there is a knight standing in the doorway so no one can come in or out. And then there's 2 knights up by Khalul, and there's 2 knights further away talking to these cloaked figures.
So are there any open doors anywhere nearby?
Just the one the guy's standing in. There is a closed door all the way in the back, but it's on the far back corner of the room.
And what corner of the where are we?
So you guys are in like the front, like if you were looking at it on like a D&D map, you guys are like in the bottom left, and the back door, quote unquote, unless there's one in the kitchen, is in the far back or the top right.
Okay.
So complete opposite corner of the building from you guys.
So the furthest from us.
And the guards and everything are between us and the door.
Yeah, the front door, yes.
Okay.
So the guards go, I don't know who you freaks are with your weird voices, but sit down. This is imperial business. The other one goes, no, we care not for your customs. We come for that one. So our business is first. And they continue to walk over towards you, Khalul. And the one knight goes, you will not obstruct imperial business. And he's like, give him a warning. And he swings at the guy. Natural 20.
Oh my gosh.
And with his long sword, he deals... Oh, God. 12 points of slashing damage and just cuts across the throat of the hooded dude. Blood sprays out everywhere. People start screaming. Hits the ground as the hood goes back. It is a humanoid figure that has these bronze scales creeping up the sides of his face. His eyes are like kind of reptilian. The other two are like, get him! And one of them holds out his hand, grabs the knight's wrist, and just starts making a hand gesture and goes, gotta save her life. And shocks him, and they're like, they're fucking mages! And all you see, all the thaumaturges in the corner suddenly get up and draw their weapons and start jumping tables over. The knights are like, take him down! And
it's time to go.
Everyone starts screaming and freaking out. The woman from behind the bar slides those little balls out from her sleeve. A couple of the knights, she goes, apprehend the 3 cloak guys at the bar, hurry! Everyone's under arrest! And she jumps up at the bar, throws them down, and they hit and go boom, 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 and explodes into a big smoke screen. You hear the barkeep go, off the bar, this way! Follow my voice!
Go.
I hopped the bar.
You guys hop up, and you only have about 5 feet of vision. All you see is like shadows moving as the barkeep pulls you over to where the shutter opens to go to the kitchen, and he holds it open, and he points it, and he's like, dive through! Dive through!
Well, I go for it.
Oh, yeah.
Jump through.
All right, as you guys dive on in, one by one. Amir, as you dive in, your armor catches, and he's like, shit, fuck. And you hear, oh God, get your ass out of the way. And the barmaid grabs your ass cheeks and just pushes you through the window. And then you're like, woo! And then she dives in after you, shuts the shutter behind her. You hear her lock it. There's no smoke in here. And you see the barkeep go, all right, and out the back you all go. And he runs over and opens the door, and you hear combat and fighting and spells going off in the other room.
Run.
Yep, you guys run out the back door, and they're like, go, 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 go. And they run out, and he looks to the short, kind of darker-haired girl that has her stomach showing, and he's like, show them to our house. See it to that they're safe. She's like, all right then. She's like, follow me, everybody, and she darts through the streets with just like an unnatural quickness. And the barkeep leans out, and he just kind of gives you all a nod, and he's like, good luck, gentlemen. And he leans back in and shuts the door. As you guys are coming out the back, the opposite far door opens up, and you see the scholarly bookworm with glasses, the older guy and the young girl, flee out the back door and shoot off down the other way. And then like a few moments later, as you're running, you see the guy, the cloaked figure with the crossbow, head out and go the same direction, but then break off the other way as they get out to the street. Seems anyone who was in that tavern fucking got the hell out of there. You just hear the distant sounds of battle going off as you run through the streets. You start to hear a bell ring. Ding, 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 ding. You hear whistles and stuff. You see, as you're running around through the alleys, you see guards rushing towards the meandering meadery. And, yeah. She's, like, stopping at the alley, holding up her hand to stop you all, kind of peeking out in the road. She's like, all right, come on, keep going. You guys keep running. And you come up to a small, quaint house, maybe a few buildings out. And she pulls out a key out from her pocket and unlocks the door and opens it up. And she's like, come on, get in.
Yeah, follow.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep, she doesn't go in. She just opens the door and ushers all of you in. So there's no one to follow, technically.
Well, I'll leave
Let's
the
go.
guard.
All right, yeah, you dart in. Ivor behind, followed by Amarin right behind. She comes in behind you guys, shuts the door and locks it again. Grabs the curtain to one of the windows and shuts it, and it is pitch black in here. So
Wait, did she lock it from the outside?
she locked it from the inside.
Oh, she came in.
Yeah, she came in with you guys.
I thought you said she.
Nah,
She locked us in.
And we're fine.
and scene. But no, so shuts it, and she's like, all right, everyone stay quiet. And you hear her like shutting and moving stuff around. A couple things like fall over and shit. Kalul, you're the only one that can see because you have dark vision.
I have dark vision.
Oh, my bad. Tim, you also have dark vision. And, yep, Wally, you're in that game again. Well, I don't think Wally's ever had dark vision. So.
I just can't make myself do that anymore after Carl.
It's so much more fun.
Yeah. So
Yes. Fun.
So you guys can see just fine. You see her moving around pretty well for someone who can't see. She probably is familiar with whatever this place is, but she's still bumping in and knocking stuff over. You see she pulls out like a, what looks like a little lamp, and she reaches in her pocket and pulls out like some things, a tinder, and she lights this lamp and kind of turns this little wick on the side, and it lights up, and it's very dim, but it illuminates a little bit of the room. You see there's like a curtain that's been flung in front of the window, and she kind of sets it down on the ground. She goes, okay then. And you can still hear all the bells and whistles going off outside. She's like, well.
You seem oddly prepared for this.
Well, I've been taught a certain set of survival skills. And it's better than this than get chopped down in the middle of a fight that you have nothing to do with.
True.
Also, you probably shouldn't judge me. I'm helping you.
Oh, no judgment here. I mean, it's these two that got us into all this. Or this one, not two. It's just the one.
The Sir Knight.
Me?
Well, no, we,
Why you point fingers at me? They said they were after you.
But the other ones were after you, Sir Traitor.
They were. I am not a traitor.
Shh, keep your voices down. I don't care who any of you are.
I'm Kalul.
God damn it. If we get caught, we're all gonna be traitors. And I've got nothing to do with this.
And I am no thief.
Okay, let's just quiet down and wait until the whole hubbub disperses.
why are you helping us?
Oh, yeah.
Well, not like I have a choice. The barkeep said to go, so I went. And he's never been wrong before.
Oh,
Is he like the leader of a guild or something?
Guild? What? Are you stupid?
Excuse me.
Shh, voice down. She just kind of sighs. Look, I'm not going to ask any questions. I don't really care. I just enjoy my life at that tavern. Don't want it disturbed. Barkeep was probably thinking the same thing. So if we get you guys out of there, then hopefully the problem will leave there, but it seems like that turned into a whole other thing of problems. I don't even know if you all are the ones that they were looking for. Everyone in that fucking tavern had a damn hood on. Who knows what's going on?
I just didn't want to get caught in the crossfire.
Well, no, none of us went caught in the crossfire.
Well, that's just why I ran.
There are bigger forces at work in this world than us.
Right. Anyways, is one of you one of these people they were looking for?
Maybe?
I
Perhaps.
mean,
So two of them just start going, I don't know. I don't know. Ivor's just quiet in the middle going, uh-huh.
The scaly ones might have been looking for me. Maybe.
You see the girl just kind of tilt her head, and she's like, wow, you admitted to that real quick. I didn't think anybody would say anything. Okay. Huh.
Well, I have 8 intelligence, so.
I don't know what that number means, but it sounds like you're pretty dumb.
Yeah.
they did literally come up and say, "You're the one we want." So it's pretty safe assumption. To
Well, I mean, he
he's
stood
the
up
one
and threw
we
his
want.
hood off, so.
Yeah, definitely.
I wasn't expecting that to happen.
I don't think any of us were. And now I gotta go and make up 3 more smoke bombs.
Yeah, they might be looking for me. Maybe.
Right. You guys seem to be talking with Neil for some time, or well, the barkeep for some time. I didn't quite hear your names as you were all there, and we're gonna need some way to pass the next few hours. So I guess small talk's in order, eh? You guys like talking, right?
Oh, most certainly.
Oh boy. Okay. Well then, Karina.
Kalul, the learned.
Right.
I can speak 5 languages. I am most certainly learned.
I'm sure you can, sweetie. You've explained how smart you are. I'm convinced you can speak so much. Yep. And you? She motions towards Ivor.
The name's Ivor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just here finding work. I don't know how I got roped into all this, so.
Well, I was looking for work as well.
But I'm also not getting chased by fucking lizard things.
Well, I didn't know I was being chased by anything.
How many times do I have to say be quiet? And you,
Or
the guy who's... And you, the guy who's clearly wearing a shit ton of armor under his robe. What about you?
You can just call me Amber.
Hammer, right. Hammer time. Anyway,
Sir Hammer Trader.
Hammer time.
I am not a traitor.
Those men certainly seem to think so.
Well, men have ways of thinking incorrectly.
Karina goes, ha, yeah.
I'm hunting something.
Something about shadow creatures, right? Sorry.
Yes.
Overhearing conversations is something I'm a little good at as a waitress.
Yes, I've been searching for rumors for a while now, and so far it has led me here, and now I'm hearing about shadow creatures coming from the valley or whatever, and I have to find what I'm searching for. I have to find that creature.
Right. Well, we don't want to know your whole life story or anything, but good to know.
we got time to burn, I mean.
Yeah. Oh boy, you guys are a headache. All right. Well, and then all of a sudden you hear running, and she goes, shh! And you see just outside the curtain a light slowly begin to get brighter, and you hear voices kind of going, this way, come on! You hear footsteps and armor as a squad of guards runs by, and the light begins to fade again. You guys sit in silence for about another 20 seconds, and she's like, all right. And you see outside it's starting to get much brighter. The morning is really starting to kick in. Okay. Well, you've accepted the quest. Are you still going to go on it? Probably be a good idea to get out of town for a couple days. Maybe come back, sneak the reward, bounce. Or take a couple more rewards. Who knows? This town's got a lot going for it right now. It's anyone's game because it's an up-and-coming town. Seems like a lot of different groups are trying to get in on it. We've got the Ironworks Smithy, the Brothers of Port. Seems the town master's kind of sketchy. And obviously the church is coming this way.
Yeah, I definitely think we should get out of town. And I'll wait for all this to die down, like you said. And then while I'm doing that, could I like tap my foot or something to ask her if she knows anything about iron foxes?
Oh, with Thieves' Cant?
Thieves' Cant, yeah.
Yep. So as you start doing Thieves' Cant, you see her eyes kind of go down to like your hand where you're kind of tapping.
Mm-hmm.
And to the rest of you, it just sounds like he's sort of nervously patting a song on like his boot or something. You guys don't pick up on it at all.
I don't get that one.
Yep, and yep, master of 5 languages, and
None of them useful.
I'll have you know,
I hope
they're most useful. Common, Draconic, Elvish, Dwarvish, and Sylvan.
I hope that over the
you'd only list 4.
I know. I'd love that if he only listed 4. It's like, yeah, that 8 intelligence really kicking in. But
Free, my lord.
So, as you're tapping, what do you say exactly?
Oh god, what did I just
Something
say?
about
Know anything about iron foxes?
Right. Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
Sure.
Get to tap it out.
Tap 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 tap.
Okay, never mind.
Persuasion.
You'll probably win.
Alright.
By probably, I mean you have a 5%
15?
chance. Okay, yeah. So she rolled a natural 1. So
Oh, Poggy dog.
As you ask about the iron foxes, she's kind of looks back out the window and goes, yeah, maybe it might be better if you skip town a bit. Maybe a day or two. Maybe even spend another night out there. The place you're trying to go, if I remember correctly, it's about a day's walk, so it's not super far, but it's a hike for sure. Oh boy. And then she starts kind of patting her fingers, kind of rolling her fingers on the desk next to her, kind of tapping her nails. And she, as you ask about, what does she know about the iron foxes? She says, who's asking? Or like, who wants to know?
I'm gonna say I probably wouldn't say anything verbally, but same thieves can't. I'd say a fellow fuck, what was it? Fellow black dog.
As you say that, she just
whatever. You said it was part of that group, so yeah, that group.
Well, there was someone what a Geed told you before was that there is someone known as the Black Dog.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a title.
Yeah, I get that now.
Yeah.
Then I meant to say someone that works for the group that I was a part of.
Okay.
Yeah. I couldn't remember if that was called Black Dog, so got it.
And she kind of pauses for a sec and then continues tapping. And she's like, whew, man. She's kind of, because Thieves' Cant is hidden within like taps, gestures, and words, and she kind of makes like a little passing, like, man, it is stuffy in this place. And you pick up on the Thieves' Cant, and she says that this is not the place to talk about that another time.
Is it actually stuffy in there?
Oh, it's a very small medieval cottage. So.
Yes, it is quite cramped.
Yep. And, she just says that, not here, another place. But yeah, so you guys are just sitting in this place and waiting it out, making really weird small talk, unless there's something you all want to say.
Is there a place for, I think your name was Kalul, can he take a bath somewhere? It's kind of
Stifling?
a little. Yes, I didn't want to say that. But yes.
Well, I would need some fresh water to bathe in and wash my robe.
When you guys leave town, you can just dip in the stream.
We will do that.
Good choice.
So we got to sit here with that smell. Okay.
Karina's like,
Just pulled out of the sea a few days ago.
Karina's like, you could go out with the guards and bathe if you want.
We'll just, I guess I'll stay in here. We'll make do.
All right, and so after at least an hour or two, after like all the sounds of like the guards and stuff die down, she like gets up and kind of parts the curtain, peeks outside. She's like, all right. Well, I think it's a good time for you all to go. Seems like the coast is clear.
And we thank you for sheltering us. We are in your debt yet again. Well, at least I am.
Don't thank me. Thank the barmaster.
Yes, send him our thanks.
What's his name again?
You guys never asked. But she let slip for like a second. She said something about Neil.
Neil.
But she looks at you and she goes, yeah, next time you guys come back, I'll take those posters off the board. I'm sure he's going to ask me to do that anyway. When you come on back, we'll have all the individuals who would be giving up the pay ready.
Excellent. We shall return.
Not a problem. Just make sure when you head out of town, do it discreetly. She kind of unlocks the door and cracks it open and takes a peek outside, and she's like, all right, coast is clear. She opens it and ushers all of you out.
We sneaking.
Yep. She points eastward towards the massive valley in the distance, kind of, that opens up the stream coming down toward the town. Just a big sort of inclined grassy field coming down to this point. She goes, just head into the valley. Follow the stream east. Somewhere up in there, about a day's walk. That's where the masons went to go carve stones.
I guess that's
Thank
the
you.
direction we're heading.
Yep. So go do that. Handle whatever papers you wanted from the tavern.
We're walking.
Or we can sneak back over there and you can look at the board. I don't know what you want to do.
Mm,
I feel like you'd want to limit your time here right now.
probably should head out sooner rather than later.
I'm just heading in that direction to find those creatures. Or creature.
Hey, whatever fuels you. And she just kind of turns around and walks through one of the alleys, just giving like a wave behind her, and she just bounces out of there.
Well, hmm, I guess we will head out. What an odd group of individuals we are.
Yeah, I don't know how I got roped in with you guys, but at
Yes,
least
thank
it's
you.
not dull. I'll say that.
And you guys
I am not.
make your way up out of town.
Yeah, I guess we probably better stealth out.
All right, go ahead and we'll do a stealth check. This will be a group stealth check.
19.
8. Nailing it.
Standard rogue tactics.
Roguish guy getting the 8.
Yeah. Walk by the guy and go, hey, guard from earlier.
Hey, we're heading east, by the way.
I met these dudes up, like you were saying, they're great. Devil.
Yeah, it's that guy. Oh my god.
I got a 16, by the way.
All right. So, to the best of your guys' knowledge, you all head up out of town.
We are the knight.
Yep.
During the day.
Cool, just sort of or not cool. Ivor, you just like, due to your natural skills, expect just to be the best, and so you like let your guard down a bit. And you, as you're like walking out of town, you like bump into like a box that like knocks a piece of like sheet metal off. Like it looks like a scrap from like a smith's yard. It hits the ground, just clanks, like a box fall over and clunks. A cat takes off down the alley, freaking out. And you guys are just like, that totally didn't tell anybody that something was happening on this corner of town, right? Right? And you,
Right, I'm looking forward to
Yep.
this festival.
Yep. And you guys march, kind of staying low, heading through the grass northward out into the farm fields that are north of Avenglen. Kind of sticking to where they have all the straw kind of starting to grow into like some, not tall, but like shorter grasses, kind of cutting through there. And kind of get up behind like the mill and some of the small cottages that are out there. Some of the farmers are getting at work. A couple of them look over and see you, Ivor, just kind of ticking around in the grass. And like, what are you doing? Get out of here, kid. And but they never see
Yeah, no
Amryn or Kalul. And
Just
Just
fully
so
armored.
excited for the festival. I can't help it.
yeah, so are we. Now get out of here.
Alright, see ya.
Yep.
What race are you, Ivan?
I'm human.
You're just human. Okay.
No,
Just
a
human.
half elf.
Just human.
I
Regular.
Okay.
lady.
was surprised you didn't go with halfling.
I should have. It would have been funny, but
Yeah.
you said it was not going to fit the environment. so I
It
didn't.
would have. It would just would have been different to explain. That's all. But yeah, you all head up the hill into the valley, and you begin the one-day march. On the mission poster that you have on your person, Cool, there is a very rough, not a map, but like a word-for-word guide on like where to go.
Okay.
So you
At
have
some
it.
point, I bathe it in the stream.
Yep, you guys go up into the valley until you are out of sight of town, and then all you guys hear is sort of the sounds of the environment around you guys. And you Cool's like, all right then, and he just rips off the boat sail and marches into the river.
Like, as I'm in there, instead of, like, singing, I'm, like, practicing saying my name. Kalu. The arcane. Kalu. The learned. Just, like, saying it, like, over and over.
He's just like scooping water and rubbing his arms, and you just hear him going, the arcane, the learned, the majestic. And there's just rising mountains miles to either side of you guys. As you can see, this valley that you're heading into becomes narrower and narrower the more miles you travel inward. This singular stream, very tiny stream, like a creek cutting through it, winding back down towards town.
Since I assume he like stripped down, can I just take a peek through his stuff? Like not like full blown searching through it, but just want to see like what's in the pile.
Sure, give me a perception check.
Yeah.
Are you like physically searching through, or just kind of looking at
No,
it?
just taking a peek, like or like looking from a distance, not,
All right.
not going through it. 10.
10? All right. Oh, where's it at? You see... Oh, Johnny didn't write it down. Damn it. I was going to read it off his character sheet and just pick 3 items at random that would be like on the top. But
I couldn't actually find the character sheets when you mentioned it in the Roll20, but that's a discussion for later.
Yeah, I didn't set everything up just because I knew we'd have time to do it again sometime, but that was just very limited
definitely.
time. So the first thing you obviously see is the bag itself. The color and material of it is weird. You haven't seen that before. So you don't know if he's from a town like far from Norstrand or like he said, he's just not from here. Strapped to the side of the bag, and kind of in 2 sort of things, you see he carries a crossbow on himself and a thing of bolts.
What?
In the very top, you can see a what traveling pack do you have, Johnny?
Oh, I don't know.
Did you grab the Explorer's one?
I think so, yeah.
All right, and you see like a bedroll, a simple mess kit for cooking, stuff like that. And those are the things that sort of cover the top. You can't really see past those into the bag.
Yeah, that's fine. I wouldn't.
But you
Well,
see,
I
there's
just
clearly
like-
other stuff in there. It's a bag. It looks like there's more stuff in there, but that's all you can see currently.
For sure.
So was he just completely naked underneath that?
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Were you naked?
Yes.
Yep, he
So
is totally naked under those raggedy ass boat sails.
Okay.
But with very fine stitching.
Yep.
Very fine stitch work.
Yep. And that is something you do all notice. It's some fine ass stitch work.
I can't tell if it's sarcastic or not.
I know.
I'm writing it down. It's fine.
It legitimately looks like someone who's done this a lot did that.
Okay. Just the first time you said it, it sounded very much like
Yeah.
I was gonna let you guys figure it out.
Yep. And yeah, you just see him bathing. But as you see him bathing, you also notice that similar to those individuals, that one that was literally had his throat chopped out, he does have patches of bronze scale along his back and arms. Kind of like gradiently coming, like they're growing in.
What color did you say they were?
Bronze. And you know, because of living here, and actually all of you would know, that there are bronze dragons in the sweeping sea. They move all across throughout the sea, so that just makes the bronze color come to mind. You don't know if that's a connection or not, but it just sort of triggers that memory. There are many different colored reptiles throughout Strega, the ocean included. But also he said he comes from a foreign land, so who even knows?
Who knows indeed.
He could be slowly transforming into a bronze basilisk. You don't know.
Classic.
Yeah, classic, I know.
So, Amarin, are you the rogue knight? I'm just gonna come out and say, I don't care. I don't have any opinion either way. I just I want to know if that's what we're going to be getting into if we ever see it again by night.
All I'll say is that, unfortunately, yes, my kingdom is after me because I snuck out several times, and because I'm searching for a creature that killed my brother.
I knew you were the traitor knight. I come and put my clothes.
I am not a traitor.
He is
Well,
definitely not a traitor.
Oh, well,
They're just saying that I am because I have a mission that isn't their mission.
what's their mission?
Oh, protect everyone, be guided by the light, things like that. The Paladin's Creed.
So you're not a paladin?
I am a Paladin. I just am on my own mission. I have given it to myself because of the death of my brother. I have to avenge his death.
Did you break his creed? Its creed? Her creed?
I did not break the creed. I am not an oath breaker.
Ah.
I
see.
still am guided by the light.
I like the idea of Khalul just saying all this, and he has no idea what he's talking about. He's just like, ooh,
Oh,
ah.
he doesn't. He has zero idea what he's talking about. This is all brand new to him.
And Amren's just like this starry-eyed, like, follower who's just going with it. And Ivor's watching, like, what the fuck is happening?
Stuck with lunatics.
Like every game of D&D you play.
Oh, very well.
So, unfortunately, yes, they were after me, but their reasoning is not correct. I wish they would just let me travel in peace so I could get this done and be back to the barracks as soon as possible.
Just out of curiosity, why didn't you just leave the armor that they say you stole, and then they would have no reason to be hunting you?
Oh, I did not steal this armor. This armor is mine.
For sure, but if you just left it there and got it when you came
For
back,
sure.
it would have been fun.
I'm not going to just leave my laying about. This is holy armor.
But
It
don't,
is.
won't they be
It was
able to
given to me as-
identify you with said holy armor?
Of course, I would not dare leave without my armor.
But they would.
That would take away my honor as a paladin.
So second thought, do they know what you look like? Does every knight know what you look like? Or could you just pretend, or not pretend, pretend's the wrong word. Could you just continue acting like a knight with nothing to hide instead of making yourself look like the most sketchy person in town?
I'm sure
And then
there
they
are
might not
ways to go
notice you.
about it, but I feel like that would be beneath my
What
honor.
if you wore your armor inside out?
The grown-ups are talking, cool. You should probably get dressed.
Are you with him? Like,
For now,
what?
temporarily.
Okay. I want everybody to know. We're not together.
I
just
just want you all to know.
I just happen to be following along in the same direction you're going. That is all.
Who are
If
you?
you're
Who are you telling this to?
to you too, just so you're aware of the fact.
I mean, we have a similar mission. We might as well work together. I mean,
Yes, that's fine. That's
we'll get paid if those creatures get killed. You'll get your redemption arc. It'll be great.
my redemption arc. I'm not trying to be
Revenge.
Revenge
Yes,
arc.
I am after the vengeance for my brother.
Yes, yes.
But no, I could not put my armor inside out, Khalul. Your brain is messed up.
No, but
You-
I mean, they clearly knew who you were by your armor, right?
They could not see my armor through my cloak.
But you can hear it. I mean, it's not like it's going to be hidden all the time.
You guys hear
Well-
popcorn as Khalul is really stoking his brain. You like see something coming out the side of his ear, and you're like, "We're just gonna ignore that."
It is beneath my honor as a paladin knight to remove this armor.
Yeah, so that's why I go back to my point of just act like you normally would instead of acting very sketchy and making everyone look at us. Just
I
a
was
thought.
not acting sketchy at all. I was just under my hood.
I
That's
try to
all.
mimic his like tucking into the bar that he tried to do when the knights came in.
You flick up your hood and like stick your hands in your pockets, like stretch them down really far, like you bend your shoulders in front. You start like kind of looking side to side, like someone really stretching their hoodie out. And you see just kind of, it does look a little weird.
Just say this is what you look like. That's all.
Well, I'm new to this. I've never had to, run from my own people.
Oh, he'll get used to it.
I am the son of a baron. After what? What do you mean? And I'll get used to it.
It's just one of those things that like it becomes natural after a while.
Life's
Hiding
like
from
an
people?
onion.
Wait, so you're on the run too then?
I'm not on the run. They
No,
just aren't for me.
Ivar's on the run too then.
We're all on the run from something. Some of us are running from things.
you
Some of us
running
are running
to-
to things. Like it's just we're running.
So
Actually, we're just standing still.
I run from dragon people things. He runs from other knights.
Dragon people things.
Yeah, you saw those guys that had like scales on them and stuff.
Oh, you mean like scales
Like,
on you?
dragon people, kind of, right?
Like you?
Maybe.
You guys both flash back. You very clearly saw Scales as he was bathing in the river. You're like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any clothes?
I have this. I have this.
No.
I have donned my robe by now.
Do you have clothes?
I have my robe. It is my clothes.
Okay. That needs to be washed.
Oh,
It smells.
I washed it when I was bathing. I didn't just.
It kind of got the smell out. It's better.
Yeah.
It's now just wet.
Yeah, no, it's soaked, and you are freezing your tits off.
I'll be alright.
It's like 70 degrees, and you guys are hiking in a mountain valley. And you're in a giant wet blanket, and it's the autumn.
Okay. I have an extra pair of my clothes. You may have them
Well,
as long as you put them on instead of wearing that. That may help keep people away from us.
well, the clothes that he has cover up all the scale parts on my body.
What kind of clothes are they, Amron?
Just fine clothes.
So it's like a pants, long sleeve shirt with sort of like a reddish vest that's kind of stitched in the middle where like a collar would be. And they're very clean, very nice.
They'd be
I
rather
took it that
regal.
way.
It is a little regal. They're not like embroidered or anything, but it looks like a very, very nice set of casual clothes.
Well, I mean, yeah. Just give me a minute to tailor them, and then I'll be ready to go.
Are you a tailor?
No.
What? Insight check.
All right. So, Amron, go ahead and give me an insight check. Kulul, since you know what you are, go ahead and do perception or not perception, persuasion or deception.
Yeah.
Also, what's the body shapes of these two dudes? Like,
Yeah,
I
the
see
clothes
Evan's
difference.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 5'11", 150 pounds.
And what's
Then-
your strength score?
Mine is 16.
So though he says he's short, you could see the muscle on him. He's pretty big for his size.
Also, did he say he was 5'11"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so not terribly short.
So as any men would actually say, I'm 6 foot,
Right.
because no men are actually 5'11",
He's a shrimp.
Correct.
at least in their own morals. But yeah.
Yes.
So he's like,
Okay,
"Oh, I'm totally
cool.
6 foot." Yeah.
That's correct. I am.
I got a 13.
Right, and then what did you get on insight, Amron?
I got a 12.
Okay. You guys stare at each other long and hard. You've all been walking as you're doing this, occasionally stopping for one of you to kind of mess with your clothes or something. But you've been walking and talking along the stream. Your voice is just echoing around the hills near you. Occasional birds flying over. You do notice there's a shit ton of birds too, by the way. And as you guys are kind of walking along, there's this moment where they both stop, and Ivor, you walk about a few more feet ahead, and you like look behind you, like, why are we stopped? And they're both just staring at each other like a Western showdown. And Amron, you're like, yeah, I guess you're not a tailor. Okay. You're like, you know what? Sure, why not? You're not a tailor.
Oh man. Just a skill I picked up. I've had a lot of odd jobs in my life.
Your skill that you picked up is to not be a tailor.
Thank you.
No,
Thank you.
to tailor, even though it is not my profession.
What's your flaw, Johnny? Slavery?
Yeah.
I'll
Ugh.
kill you.
All right. Yeah, so you guys, what is our marching order? As you both realize as all of you realize you're marching in this valley, never been here, and all you have is a few words on a piece of paper to go off of. Whoever is leading this marching order, I need a survival check.
Well, since I enjoy puzzles and map making, I will take the paper and I will lead this ragtag crew.
Exactly what I wanted to hear. I will go in the back.
Oh man.
Cool, you watch Amron take the paper and start marching ahead. Ivor walks behind you and just ushers you forward, like, go on.
You look great in those probably way too big clothes.
I tailored them, remember?
He's tailoring them a bit. He's stitching them in the sleeves.
So what,
It's a very hasty
You have
job. He's doing it as he walks.
he has needle and thread that he carries along? Or is he using the thread from his flag robe?
Oh no. Thread and needle.
Oh.
Yep, the guy who's not a tailor just pulls out a tailoring kit. Amron, you look at it and you're even more convinced than before, but yeah, he's just probably not a tailor. All right, who's giving me that survival check?
Oh, right, survival check. What do I have?
You're lost.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is your native land. Lead the way, Sir Knight.
Native-ish.
I got a 9.
All right.
You're
But he
good.
loves maps.
Don't worry. We are good.
Oh, I trust you.
I said I loved maps. I didn't say I was good at reading them.
All right. As you guys
Oh,
continue
different
to
person.
walk along, hours and hours and hours start to go by. The way guided by Emran as he points onward to slopes unbound, leading you through the great valley near Avenglen. Tim, go ahead and roll me a d20.
Are we at least heading east?
Oh yeah, you can't mess that part up.
12.
All right. As you're traveling, and you guys are walking along, you see, like, over the hills in the distance, a large shape dart just above the ground, kind of vanishing behind the stone formations way up ahead. A couple 100 yards ahead, you see something shoot across the ground.
What is that?
And you see the shape kind of climbing up the slopes, but it keeps going behind rocks and kind of vanishing out of sight. Something big and airborne coursing just above the ground level, but it's too far to be able to gauge what it was.
And it's in front of us?
Mm-hmm. A couple 100 yards. You're in this big open valley, so you see it really far out there.
Yeah.
Amron, Ivan, do you recognize this creature?
Well,
That's what we call a bird.
It's just a rat.
It's all right, Cool. It's all right. Don't worry.
As you guys continue to travel forward, kind of sticking to little patches of pine tree that grow along the slopes, you come up to roughly where you saw the shape before, all of you looking around, keeping an eye out. And you in the head, Amarin, you look down and you can see there's something on the ground up ahead. At first you think it's like a big sort of shearing of sheep's wool. But as you go up even closer, you see that it is not sheep's wool, but it is kind of fluffy. As you reach down and you see and point out to everyone else a like 2-foot-long feather. The underside of it is like a nice tannish white, and then the back, the upper path portion of it is like black.
That's a mighty large feather.
We haven't seen any feathers like this prior. I don't know if it's like normal to the region or anything.
Go ahead and give me a intelligence check. Ivor and Amron.
Not nature.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Nature.
Oh, same thing. I don't have nature.
Doesn't really matter for me. I had a... Ah, crap. I think it was 12. Yes, 12.
I got an 8.
We're doing great.
Ivor, you just sort of shrug. You're like, nah, I have no idea what that is.
Bird, just like I said.
Amron, you've seen it before. You stop for a second and start thinking of birds and birds and birds and birds and birds, and you can't think of anything. And then when you change your thinking pattern away from the fact that it's just a feather and birds to the colors, you try to think of like different patterns of color that you've seen. And as that color scheme comes into head, you recognize something bird-like that has that palette that you've seen. You've literally walked past them before during your training as a knight. This is a Strega griffin feather.
Oh, boy.
My poor donkey.
And as you realize what it is, just echoing from the hills, you all hear, "Caw!" Just this massive eagle screech.
Is it valuable?
Is what valuable?
The feather.
It's a feather.
Is it so?
You can take it if you'd like, Cool.
I will take the feather.
All right. You take the griffin feather. +1 griffin feather obtained.
Yes, yes.
All right.
Does it sparkle?
Nope, no sparkles.
Oh, okay.
The black portion of it has a nice sheen in the sunlight. That's about it.
Gotcha.
Still warm to the touch, cooled by the sun air beating into the valley.
Did you say we saw the griffin?
You saw a flying shape.
And then we heard a scream, and when that happened, I asked about the value of said feather.
I'm gonna go hide in the trees, or like under the trees, or anything like that.
I'll follow my roguish friend.
What are you doing?
I mean, that's a big feather, and there's a big thing above
He sees
us.
you guys dart over and hide amongst the pines, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And his voice just echoes across the valley.
There is no honor in hiding. It is but a griffin.
All right, you got this. I give him a thumbs up.
You're both just like under a pine tree giving him thumbs up.
Are you planning on just staying here?
I'm
The
looking
griffin is
at
coming up.
Ivar, and I was like, "Can you question my intelligence?"
Yeah, you go out there and get him.
Okay. But if I keep going, I'm not coming back for you.
I mean, I'll follow. I'll just stay in the tree line instead of on the path or whatever we're walking along.
There's no path. It's just wilderness out here.
or any open areas, I just avoid. Is basically what I'm trying to do,
Mhm.
so that I stay underneath trees,
Okay then.
but I still follow the grand noble knight. I, you're killing it out there.
But yeah. All right. And while this is happening, Cool, you do realize this isn't quite on the beaten trail. But those fools don't need to know that. Go ahead and give me another survival check.
All right.
It's me. Oh, never mind.
Survival. Uh-oh.
You're not Cool. My bad. Shit. Amarin. He has the map.
I was like, why am I doing it?
Go ahead and let him see what he does.
Oh no, I'm not rolling it. Charge.
All right, I got a 17.
All right. You, to the best of your ability on the map, you recorrect course and start continuing the travels. More hours go by. You see the sun starting to go down the other side now. You guys have been on the road for maybe about 8 hours or so, hiking around. Lots of birds, lots of wildlife in the distance, but nothing too near you guys. Amarin's kept you guys on the road. Well, the metaphorical road. Very well. Eventually you come up to a part where the rocks push up against the slope, but there's a path that heads up in there. And you start to recognize old wagon tracks on the ground.
Seems wagons have gone this way.
Yep. As you
See,
guys,
I knew I was going in the right direction.
as you begin heading up that way too, you start to see boot prints. Some of them filled with mud or water that rolled down from the water-soaked slopes of the mountains. And as you're going up the hill, you also happen to notice another feather. This one much smaller. This one's only about 5 or so inches in size.
Cool. Another feather for your collection.
Is it a griffin feather?
No, it is not. This is much smaller.
Doesn't seem as valuable.
It is gray with little black streaks and white spots on the undersides.
Do you recognize this feather?
Who would like
see.
to look at it?
What is it again? Nature?
Yep.
I would also like to look at
All right, go for it.
I do a 13.
18.
This one's a little bit more obscure, not as quite of a famous creature. Amarin, you're at a bit of a loss. You're like midget griffin, petite griffin, baby griffin. You never really come to a conclusion. Either through whatever point in your studies or the things that you've learned and heard, as you're looking at it, you hear Amarin kind of mammering off all these different ideas and stuff, and then as you kind of take it and look at it, you're like, oh. And you just recognize like a page in a book you've seen. You're like, oh, that's a harpy.
Oh, yes, Harpy. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, you had it. You had it.
I was just seeing if, either of you have noticed these kind of things before.
Oh.
Do you know what a Harpy is, Cool?
Cool, where
I
you
know
are
it's not-
from, there are harpies. They're not that color, but you do have harpies.
I am aware of harpies. I'm like looking up around now. Perception check.
Go for it. And as soon as he says harpy, all of you from your very basic knowledge of harpies and griffins, you all know that horses are a griffin and a harpy's favorite foods.
Don't look like a horse.
4.
You're like, I can't see anything in this valley with all these hills in the way.
Yes. Yes. Well, I mean, yes.
All right. As you guys continue to head up in this sort of cut in the ridge, you see sort of an open area, and you begin hearing this, like, chomping and tearing noise and little screeches and caws. Just up the hill, all the grasses have kind of receded away, and it is now just sort of dirt and gravel up ahead.
Can I stealth to go take a peek?
Sure, if you would like to. Go for it.
Wait, you casted?
He casts stealth. It's super effective.
Hey,
20,
where'd
25.
Cool go?
Whoa.
Whoa.
Did we leave him back there or something? Where did Khalil
It
go?
really is arcane.
That was unkin.
All right, so who rolled what on stealth?
I did not plan to go to the top of the ledge.
All right, you
Yeah,
watch Khalul dart up there.
Yeah.
Amron, what are you doing?
What are the odds that harpies and griffins are the things that attack the...
Odds of what? Oh, my internet went out, didn't it? Did it work?
singular folk. Yep.
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh my god. I don't know what happened there.
All right. Well, now that you're back, I've got to take a little break. I'll be right back. I just gotta-
Yeah. Are you back, Tim?
Yep.
All right. Are we ready to continue?
Yep.
All right. Continuing, gentlemen.
Are we heading back to the city now and claiming our reward?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Everything's solved, right?
Definitely
Right.
All right. Anyway, though, as you all wake up from your strange daydream, Khalul, you are up at the top of the hill, crouched down, just barely peeking over the crest of it, as you stare down to this gap in the ridge. And you see a number of tents up ahead. Oh, I have to refresh my. Wait, do I? No, I don't. Whew, thank God. Okay. And you see up ahead a large sort of open stone clearing. And you can see a number of tents within, and you see like pieces of stone that have been carved into these tall rectangles are just lying around the place. And there's this sort of musty smell in the air. And as you look over, you hear where that chomping and giggling sound is coming from. You look over and you can see, sitting atop a corpse, where flies are also buzzing around it, you see two harpies picking at a horse corpse up ahead.
Are there humanoid corpses as well?
You look around and you do not see any. These things are just giggling as they chomp away at this horse body.
I don't suppose I can see in any of the tents from the angle that I'm at.
No.
I'll sneak back down to my companions.
All right. You kind of wander back down the hill a little bit. Go ahead and you actually no, you already made it. Never mind. You get all the way down to your companions, and they're both just sitting there at the bottom of the hill.
Yep. Well, 2 harpies. I don't know if there's more. There's 3 tents up there. They're eating a dead horse. I don't know. I don't know if there's any survivors. I don't see any bodies. But the cart's up there.
I assume that's the quarry, is what you're trying to tell us?
Yeah.
That's the one!
Uh,
Yeah, that's the one!
I didn't see any people. I don't know if they're dead inside the tents or if they ran off or what.
Well, either way, I feel it is our duty to go up there and vanquish those harpies. Those do not need to be around here.
Duty. That's a.
Yes, what you smubbed like earlier.
Oh.
oh.
Pew, 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 pew.
No, I feel we already are up this way, and you know these are definitely things that need to be taken care of. I believe we shall do this.
Well, we.
Are you with me?
lead the charge, Sir Knight.
Well, should we maybe canvass the area first? Like, at least circle around it, make sure there's not, like, a flock of them? I don't know. Do harpies travel in a flock? Are there usually more than two?
What did you get on your intelligence check or your nature check earlier?
18.
18. They do travel in groups. They usually have flocks.
Yeah, they usually have flocks. Not a question.
And
Now it's an
you also
estimation.
recall that they have been known to have mysterious magical voices.
And they have mysterious magical voices that we should be aware of.
Oh, of
But
course.
I am all
everybody-
for...
knows.
Sorry, what was that?
I said everybody knows that. Of course.
Yeah, I was just making sure. Kalul know that. I do, of course.
Oh, sure.
One learned like you.
I am the learned. Of course I know.
But we probably, yeah. I think we should circle around, make sure there's not more in hiding. And then we should try to pick them off as quickly as possible and not make a big disturbance.
Even Kalul finds this strategy amusing.
Well, I guess this it at least is a strategy. We will at least attempt it.
All right.
I guess
I
we're
will.
going to start off that way.
Sorry, what was that?
Said it's better that we at least start off that way. You know, surprise attack.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
All right. You guys are on the map. If you want to try anything, you're in the bottom corner.
So is that like actual like a wall of stone
Yeah.
around them?
It is. It's in like a little. It's like the valley rises up like a slope. There's like a break in the slope where there's like a little bit of a hill poking out the side, and in between the slope of the valley and that sort of big rock formation is this gap.
So is this where I climbed up, right here?
Yeah, you were up there behind that rock, peeking around that ledge.
Okay.
How steep are the slopes? Or like, how high and steep are these like?
So
slopes?
on the left side over there, it is much steeper, probably about 20 feet. On the side you guys are on right here, it's only about 7 to 10 feet.
Okay.
You just hear the whole these harpies just.
We could climb up the ledge on the right, although if they're any hiding, we'd probably be visible at the top.
Yeah, but we probably would also not want to be stuck in a pit when they do show up. I guess they can fly, so.
Right.
I mean, I'm open to suggestions.
So what? Like, how high is this area?
Right there, that whole side's about 10 feet. And it goes higher to the right off the map, but it goes up to like a small little peak of like a rocky hill.
Okay.
But
we're
that
there
part's
about-
flat. The rest of it's just like slope.
Okay. Yep. I'm going to climb up the side of the mountain right next to us,
All
or
right.
the hill,
Would you like to do
I
this stealthily?
as stealthily as I can.
All right. Go ahead and
How
give.
heavy is Sir Knight's armor?
Huh?
How heavy is Sir Knight's armor?
It's heavy enough for him to still be able to walk around and act like normal.
Okay.
All right. I got a 14.
All right. As far as you are aware, you are stealthy.
Okay. So how can I control my character, or can I control it?
I got a 9.
Oh, are you
Also
trying to climb
gonna-
up too?
Oh yeah. As a group, we're doing this as a group.
Oh, we are.
Yeah.
I mean, if we don't want to. If you
He said,
told
"Wait,
me
are
to
we?"
stay, I'd be fine to wait. I'd be
Oh,
fine to wait.
I thought the strategy was we were following him.
I am all for letting you go by yourself.
Hmm. Well,
Or the two of you go. So, yeah, I will instead, since there was miscommunication, I'm gonna go off to the stealth, try to the, or I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna fucking wait.
So where the dirt and rock are, right here, Wally.
Mhm.
This is an incline, so there is like a hill crest right there. You could probably like get really low and like army crawl around that way.
Okay, I'm going to wait. I'm going to prepare my bow, but I am going to wait for a signal from our dearest knight.
Well, I'll do the same. I'll just go back to the space I was at, and I'll prepare my divine magic. Yes, divine.
He's Kolul the Divine.
Ugh.
All right, then. To your knowledge, O Amron, you have stealthily climbed to the top as your armor clinks and clacks. Wait, do you have heavy armor?
I have.
Do you have the?
chain.
Oh, that's disadvantage on stealth checks.
That's why I was asking how heavy his armor was.
I didn't think you were trying to use weight as an allure to that. Yeah, you have disadvantage on stealth checks. So I need you to roll again just in case.
I figured that's what I've been doing. So I've been giving you the lower, so I got a 14.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Thank God. All right. So yeah, you managed to climb on up that way. And like I said, to your knowledge, you are stealthy.
Is Ivar staying here? Or is he going to the left?
You watch Ivar draw a bow and notch an arrow.
And wait.
And he is pressed up against the rock with you, and he is waiting.
Oh.
Because maybe he's heading back. I don't know what the fuck he went to do. He didn't tell us.
You said he was going to signal us somehow.
I just assumed
Well,
some
he
big
said
ass
that.
man running around.
He said that Amron didn't. So you're like, oh, I wonder what kind of signal I'm going to hear. All right, Amron, what are you doing?
I'm just going to stealthily sneak up like to this area right here.
All right, you can move your character.
Oh, what a perfect
I like the
action.
picture fits it so well too. Like it's like the fucking Assassin's Creed guy about to jump off a cliff.
Oh, Tim has a valiant record with jumping off things while he's stealthing.
Yes. Caw-caw.
I'm the knight.
All right, so I guess I at least need to be searching the area to see if I see anything, like see any other signs of other harpies.
All right, go ahead and give me a check, a perception check.
What would be perception? 19.
19. You look around.
Lul is vigilantly listening for the signal.
Caw-caw! Bird signals were always the signal, if I remember right.
Yeah. Cause for everything.
All right. As you were up there looking around, you see there's a scattering of feathers. There's a bit of, looks like distress around the area. You see horse hooves running off in another direction. Looks like there may be another horse from what you could gather. You're not sure. There's evidence of people being around here. You see a cart in the corner. These rectangular stones you see, they look carved. There's like white powder from like stone being chipped at surrounding them. These stones seem to have been literally carved out of like the cliff faces. The two here at the bottom haven't actually been pulled from the cliff face yet. Their shape is just carved into the side of the hill. They still have to be pulled out. But you and Kalul recognize these. These are what will become the menhir stones that will sit on the plaza in the middle of town. Many towns have these, any of the ones you guys have been to, and they act as a sort of a, almost like a shrine that creates a ritual that keeps away beasts and monsters.
You mean Ivar?
Yeah, my bad. That's gonna take me getting used to. I've almost called you Carl like 4 times tonight. Yeah, and then, but while you were up there, you also see in this middle tent here, the front of it is flung open, and you can see inside of it. Inside of it, you see sleeping on a sleeping bag is a tiny little reptilian creature, just unconscious sleeping.
Strange. Are the harpies still eating the horse?
Oh yeah, they are chomping away at that boy.
Now, how far can I jump?
Oh boy. With a 10-foot start, you can jump a number of feet equal to your total strength score, if I'm not mistaken.
And you can make it 10 feet down.
Oh yeah, you could very easily make it 10 feet down.
Right.
Very easily. Let me double check here. I need my DM screen. This is why I miss playing in person. This was just on my DM screen. Long jump.
Don't worry about it. Just do it. You got it.
Well, that's why I want to make sure of how far.
Number of feet up to your strength score. So 16 feet if you move at least 10 feet. So if you jump from the edge right there. Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
You can get about there. Actually, let me do the corner since it'll be... You can get right here into this space.
So right behind it?
Yeah. So, because if we move your character right, 5,
Okay.
we could do this. We can go 5, 10, 15. So right here. Not quite behind it, but close.
Just throw your weapon at it.
I'm not going to throw my sword.
As
Since
this,
he's falling down.
as a half-elven ghost appears next to you. Psst, we're way back by the cliff, but hey. Yeah, that's right. You thought he was only in the other game. Not today.
Not today.
Alrighty, what do you guys... What are you doing, Amron?
I'm
All right.
Signal.
I am going to...
If you want, you can give me an athletics check. We'll see if we can't increase that jump by a little bit.
Oh, yes.
But depending on the roll, we could also decrease that jump a bit.
22?
Okay, yeah, you'll make it.
So, would I be able to make it to the square right behind it?
Oh, yeah.
You sail over it.
Lands in the tent.
You land on the corpse of the horse they're eating?
It just explodes and pops. The gibs shoot out, blinding the harpies.
Dear
All right,
God,
so
there's a monster among the dead horse. Attack it.
Oh, God, it lives!
all right, so yeah, I am going to take a running leap and jump at the harpy, and as I'm jumping in the air, I'm going to yell attack as loud as I can.
All right.
To both startle the harpy and to signal my companions.
You scoot back about 10 feet, take off in a big run. Your armor starts immediately. You see the harpies immediately stop eating. They look up and start looking around in a panic, and then you leap off the cliff, drawing your sword. Attack! And they both turn up and look at you, and they start to flap, freaking out. You see their jaws drop as they start flapping to get out of the way. As you come down with your, what do you have, a longsword?
Yes.
And you come down with a thrust. You go ahead and make an attack with advantage. And right as he gives the signal, you both can do something. As you were holding your actions.
Yep, I'll poke out and shoot a firebolt at the one right in front of me.
I mean, a holy bolt.
That's right. Yeah, it's holy. It's full of divine fire.
All right, as he comes out, Khalul, are you also attacking?
That is cool.
Or my bad. God damn, this is going to take a while.
Yes,
Ivor.
I am also attacking.
All right, you all have advantage because it's sneaking.
Alright.
So, Avar, you
Is,
get your sneak attack.
Is my
Mhm.
attack the 20 plus my strength modifier?
Yep, d20 plus your strength and your proficiency.
Oh. Cool.
So it should be plus 5.
So mine will be charisma plus proficiency.
Assume a 23 hits.
Let me double check. It does not. This is hard mode.
Alright.
No, I'm kidding.
21.
That hits. Your arrow does hit.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, I wasn't going to troll you that hard. Okay.
I got a 16.
All right.
I got 14 of damage with sneak attack in there.
14?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to play this one. We're going to play this one.
Nearly perfect.
I mean, is this thing going to be dead before I even touch the ground?
No, your attack is going to hit first. So
I do like the idea of him landing it.
it just falls over and he's like, shit, boom.
Yeah, I got 6 points of damage.
Maybe it cushions his fall. Who knows?
How much?
6.
6, all right. Ivor, you said 14?
Mm-hmm.
And I got 10
All right.
Pumping.
for damage.
You guys come down, you stab it right through the back, and it keeps it in place. As it squawks, an arrow pegs it in the side as a firebolt blasts it in the side of the face, scorching its feathers and face. And it's screeching in pain as you stand there with your sword pressed through it. It looks extremely rough, but it is still alive.
My favorite. The old extremely rough.
The other one, kicking and screaming from the shock, is the other one freaking the fuck out from this sudden attack. Is going to make a wisdom save, try not to get scared the shit out of. That is a 8. It is fucking petrified. It can't believe what is happening in front of it right now. The squawking, as you hear though, you see the tents begin to rustle as something inside is shaken awake. But you don't know what's in there yet. You see in the open tent to the left there, a small reptilian figure suddenly looks around in a panic as it sits up. Let's roll initiative.
Woohoo!
That's just Dex, right?
Yeah.
Unless you have something special. Yeah, okay.
I got 15.
And
Good lord, I got a natural 1.
Oh, cool.
Oh, Kalul. Who else but Kalul? Kalul the unawares. How much you say you get, Wally?
10.
How much you get, Tim?
15.
Alrighty. Oh, wow, okay. Alrighty. Top of the round, the small scaly reptiles. They get up from prone because they were sleeping. And they come rushing out of each of the tents. You look over and you guys instantly recognize what these are. They are a rare creature. These are kobolds.
Oh boy.
Little tiny reptilian dudes, and you see they have like little clubs or like a little like bone dagger in their hand, and they're looking around like, and they look over and see you guys down below attacking, and they see the harpies up there getting attacked, and they kind of point at each other and start shouting these little things. Does anyone speak Draconic?
I do.
You hear them go, "What's happening? Ah, we're under attack! Surprise!" And they point and they go, "You two, go after the weird people. You, support the birdie birds."
I am not weird. That's all you hear. And
That one speaks strangely. Kill it.
all my companions here.
All right. And they will use their actions to dash. As they come flying out of the woodwork.
It's nice. The Masons hire all sorts.
Yeah. Very diverse group.
Right. Now they're done. It is Amarin's turn. You see this little lizard thing come running up next to you. The harpy in front of you is barely alive. The other one is freaking the fuck out.
Okay. I attacked the harpy in front of me. I rolled a 24.
You rip your sword out and take a big swipe at it again. And this is one-handed, right? Because you have a shield?
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, so gotcha.
And it's, I'm guessing that hit, right? 24.
Yeah.
Okay. I got a 10 on the damage.
You swing and cut off its head.
Whoop whoop. How tall are the stones? Like, if I went behind it, would I be hidden?
They're not super tall. They're maybe about 3 feet.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like a pillar meant to be standing up tall, so they're not very
That's
like,
enough.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I figured. All right, then I am going to. Let's see. If I move backwards, does
He will get
an
an
attack?
Yep, he will.
Okay. All right, then yeah, I'm gonna go here.
All right, come, my heavy metal dice, strike Tim down.
Or not.
That is a 15.
And is that just against my armor class?
Yes.
Okay, no, that missed.
It swings as you run backwards. You put up your new shield. It ting, his little club bounces off the buckler.
10,
And he's howling at you.
30.
All right. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All righty. After that, it is the harpy's turn. Terrified of you guys, it's gonna fly the fuck away.
I thought it was petrified.
No, it's in fear. Yes.
It's terrified.
It turns, kicks up off the ground, and just begins flying away. It's gonna go ahead and make another save. All right, it is no longer scared now.
Bring it.
All right, and then now it is Ivor's turn.
All right. I want to shoot another arrow at the one in the middle that's
All right.
moderately close to me. And
10.
Mhm.
A 10 does not hit.
all right, and then for my movement, I want to just climb up the edge if I can.
All right.
This-
So it's climbing. It'll use 20 feet of your movement.
All right, that's fine. And then I will move just to there.
All right. Yep, you are up there. So as you shoot that arrow, it goes wide. Kalul, you're just like, he almost got it. And you look over, and he's just scrambling up the wall.
And then is
no.
it an action to like look around, see if there's other things around? Or...
Yeah, skill check is normally
Okay.
an action. They're really weird, so sometimes it's different. I don't know.
Sure. So if you allow it, I would look around, but if not, that's fine too.
Not right now, no. What's your passive perception?
11.
11.
Mhm.
You do a quick side-to-side glance. You don't seem to see anything else.
Right. Sounds good.
How do you get passive perception?
It is 10 plus whatever your perception skill is.
Okay.
9.
This one is most observant. Kalul the observant. Kalul the
Your
watchful.
intelligence, edge, or wisdom are negative.
He's a rare individual. And he's charisma-based. He'll be the face of the group. All right.
Are paladins also charisma based?
Yeah. Tim will also be the face of the group. The renegade rogue knight.
Charismatic leader over here.
Yep. All right.
So
It is
I'll be the
now...
face
Well,
of the
no,
group?
that harpy's dead, so never mind. It is now Kalul the learned's turn.
Well, he will see his companion scurry up the cliff, and he will follow. So 5,
Yep.
10,
10,
Get down there, you're so much
15,
better down
20.
there.
So you can get just up to the top.
Yep.
Yep.
And then firebolt at one closest to me.
It's a divine bolt.
He goes, "Who?" You see him turn, and you both see this. He like does some hand gestures and some chanting, and lobs a firebolt out there.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, "That's divine, right? Right?
Oh, natural 20.
Ooh, okay." Kalul the
Shit ain't
critical.
divine.
Well, That's just 2d10, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to talk about this.
He's like huffing and puffing after climbing. He goes, we're gonna have a talk. Ooh.
Oh, got a total of 7 on that one.
You shoot the fireball and it hits him and he goes, "Blow!" and screeches and just collapses to the ground.
Nice.
Collapse is dead, or he just fell over?
He just fell over, covered in wounds. All right. Back to the top. It is the kobold's turn.
Praise be to tell her whatever her name is.
Runs up behind you, yeah, and takes a swing with its little club.
Oh gosh.
That is a unnatural 20.
Yeah, that is.
Believe it or not.
Freak.
You take 4 points of bludgeoning damage as it clubs you in your lower back.
You learn to face your enemies. Sheesh. Paladins.
All right. Next up is this one. It runs up, and you see it reaches back in one of its little pouches, and it pulls out a stone and throws it in a clump of leather in its hand, and it starts swinging it around, and it slings a rock right up towards you, Kulul.
Okay.
Or not Kulul, my bad. Ivor. Jesus Christ, that's going to fuck me up.
I'm so far back. It's a little short guy. It's 10 feet up.
Oh, you're right. It is Kulul. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Okay. That is a 7.
Yeah, no.
And the rock
You're
just flies over your head. It actually goes closer to Ivor than it does you.
They're just a little tired. They just woke up.
Yeah. All right. And then it is now the harpy's turn. It screeches.
Hey, what about me?
Oh, my bad. You're
Yeah.
up first. Sorry. I just wanted you to get clubbed again. That's all.
I don't want to get clapped again.
All right. Go for it.
You shall taste the blade of my steel.
The blade of my steel. Non-Schwilver
know.
Schwartzward.
Yeah.
That's right.
At least non-Schwilver Schwarzword makes sense.
Blade of my steel makes perfect sense. You hush back there. You're on a hill.
He's like, you hush.
I rolled a 23.
All right, that hits. As you turn around after getting clubbed in the back, you're like, ow, and you take a swing at him.
So then that would be 9.
And you cut him across the kind of collar, and he and goes down.
Okay.
Fuck.
Then, just to be on the safe side, I am going to clamber back up. And stay right there.
All right. Let the battle music stop. Start. All right. I don't like that one. Let's do this one. All right. Now after you is the harpy. Flies 40 feet over. It's about 15 feet in the air, so it's about eye level with you guys flying in the air. As it comes flying over, it opens its mouth and begins singing a song. Everyone within 300 feet, which is definitely everybody, including the kobold, has to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh boy.
We're just so damn wise.
All of us are, I'm sure.
16.
Also 16.
I bet I can do better than that. Oh, 15.
Not better. All right, you all feel this tune begin to go into your heads, and you shake it off. The kobold holds its arms out like a zombie and turns around and begins walking towards the harpy.
That worked out well.
You see the harpy as it's flying and singing, it just tilts its head like, what? And then, let's see, after the harpy is Ivor.
I would definitely like to do a legit perception check this
Right.
time.
As an action, go ahead and give me a glance around.
18.
18. As you are kind of shake it off, and you see it flying around in circles over there. You look over, your companions are shaking it off, but they're kind of staying their ground. This little kobold's taking pot shots with his sling as you're kind of ducked behind the rock. The rocks are hitting around you. Across the farways, coming in from the north, I guess technically that would be the west, or the east over there, you do catch little signs of movement.
I'll just say movement to
It's
the
up
west.
like in the harpy's direction up this way.
Sure, yeah, I'll just say movement
Yep.
in the whatever direction.
There's
And then
movement
I'll-
up there, and then you also see the tent here moving.
And there might be another kobold in the tent. And then I just like take a couple steps back further.
All right.
That's my turn.
All right, now it is Kalul the Critical's turn.
Yes. He will move over here and firebolt the harpy.
All right, I was going to say, your guys' line of sight of the kobold down here is now gone. Go ahead and firebolt the harpy.
14.
14 hits.
Good. And 8 points of damage. Praise be Teresa.
Praise be.
Divine fire smite her.
You see him like, oh yeah, Teresa, yeah.
Mother Teresa, guide me.
Oh, man.
Right. Oh yeah, the kobold actually gets to remake the save. He is free. He looks around in confusion. Gets his sling ready. All right.
Oh, but only Sir Amaran is visible.
Yep. All right. The kobold's turn is up. He's like looking around, and he doesn't see you guys. And he looks over and he sees Sir Amaran is visible.
You fool!
He's going to take a shot with his sling. That is an unnatural 20.
Son of a.
No.
Yeah, that hit.
You take. Blah, 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 blah.
Embrace the tank.
A d4 plus 2. Oof, you take 5.
Ouch.
Fine.
This huge rock just pegs you in the head, starts bleeding, and you're like, ow, fuck!
Why would you do that?
That really hurts.
Alright, after that, Amron, you're up.
Okay.
Throw your sword.
Actually, I'm going to cast Lay on Hands on myself.
Alright, and you
Oh,
heal by 5.
Paladin level times 5.
You all watch him hold out his hand as he begins clutching his holy symbol and praying. And he pushes his hands to, like, his face. And then all of a sudden, this bright light wraps around him. And you see he wipes the blood away, and there is no longer a scar on his forehead.
What is his holy symbol?
It should look like a cross, but it's, like, bent outward, like the front decoration of, like, a boat. And it is a woman with her hands together, and she has long hair draping behind her and a pair of wings going backwards.
Gotcha.
So it'd be like wearing a cross necklace if you took like the middle of it and pushed it out so all the pieces were like angled back.
Yeah, I got ya.
And it's just made out of an extremely shiny silver color.
And it glows.
And it does glow.
nice.
All right. After that, do you have any movement you want to do, Sir Amaran?
I'm gonna go over this way.
All right. The harpy. Rah! Comes flying ever closer. And is going to try singing the song again. Because now that I'm looking at it, it literally does not have a fucking limit. All right. I need everyone to give me wisdom saves again.
5.
13.
Wrong one. 14.
All right. You all shake it off again, the weird voice. But Kalul the Charmed does not shake it off.
Kalul
You see, he suddenly holds his arms out like a zombie, and he's like, pretty song. And he begins marching forward. All right. Next up is Sir Ivor's turn.
I'm gonna yell. Masons,
Actually,
if you hear,
my bad. You're not charmed. A successful save makes you immune to that effect for 24 hours.
Oh, well,
So never mind. The harpy is not going to sing. The harpy is instead going to action dash.
Maybe she doesn't know that it doesn't work.
And it's going to fly up 1 square. So it is diagonal to you up 1 spot, Tim.
Okay.
It just... And you guys see this harpy, it has a humanoid, like a female body. But from the knees down, it has hawk talons. The head is very smooth and looks almost... It's smooth and like evil looking, almost like a jack-o'-lantern face. The hair is replaced with feathers that kind of go backwards. The arms are instead wings. And the humanoid portions of it are covered in a very short, fuzzy, sort of grayish white fur. And then the arms, legs, and hair are these like striped black and gray feathers. And it just squealing at you. And it has like a burn mark on it. All right. But that was its action, so now you are up, Ivor.
Alright, I'm gonna yell, Masons, if you hear, come out. And then I'll shoot my bow. I'm not gonna actually yell it because people are probably sleeping.
Okay.
11.
All right, you're attacking with your bow?
Yeah.
All right, you just hit.
Oh, lucky dog. And since he's
Next to it.
adjacent to it,
Yeah.
I get my sneak attack. Yeah.
Oh, these rules are going to get trippy.
Mhm.
They always do.
9 damage.
Alrighty.
And then I'm just gonna move behind. And I'm good to go.
Alrighty. After you, and the dead one. Kalul the non-charmed. Kalul the no longer charmed.
He will. Firebolt, heartbeat.
Alright.
13.
Hits.
Okay. And 2 points of damage.
You shoot it and it hits, but it like flaps to the side, and the fire just sort of skims it on the leg.
And Clue will move.
Eventually, one of you's just going to jump off the cliff.
All I'm saying is he might be visible from down below where he is. So.
Definitely not. Because look at that angle. There's no way.
All right. After that,
Invisible.
we go back to the top of the round, and you see the movement from earlier as another band of kobolds
Oh, jeez.
comes running in.
I was hoping they were Masons.
One of them is wearing a set of t-shirt and pants, though. Much too big for it.
Sounds like he needs services of a fine tailor.
One of its legs isn't like fully out of it, and the pant leg is just kind of draping behind it. Looks like a kid wearing its parents' pants. It's just like charging forward. This tent over here, though, as you saw earlier, Ivor, is still moving. No one's coming out.
Fucking snake.
Snake! But, all right. And it is now Kobold's turn. These guys are going to come running down. Actually, no, they did with their action to get into combat. This guy is going to run over here, and he can just barely make out one teensy-wincy mage poking out. And he goes, yeah! And he readies a pebble and slings it. That is a 22.
Gosh, I can't even dodge that with shield.
All right. You take 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nothing for a big burly man like you.
Oh yeah, definitely not almost half my health.
Yeah.
Ah! He's like, yeah, cheering, and then he looks down and like pats his pockets, and it looks like he's out of stones.
Bastard.
But he is in a mountain, so who knows? He could pick up more.
But they won't be round.
But they won't be round. That's right. It'll just be a spike digging into your eyeball.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Amarin.
Would I be able to attack the harpy? Even
Yes,
though
you
she's up in
can.
the air?
It's just 5 feet up ahead of you, just up in the
Okay.
air.
Then yeah, I will attack the harpy. I'll keep doing that. 17.
That hits.
Okay, so it's 2. 10.
Took a huge splash of its leg as it howls. Yeah, it's pretty hurt. It's really hurt.
Okay. I'm not gonna move, so
All right.
because I don't want to have an
That's fair.
opportunity, so I will just hunker down.
All right. It is now the harpy's turn, and it is super hurt, and it sees there's still 2 of you who really aren't even hurt, and it decides it's time to fucking go, and so it's gonna action disengage and bail out.
Boo.
Bitch.
All right. After that is Ivor.
I guess I'll just move a little forward and pot shot the harpy. Hopefully.
Sure.
18s. That hits.
That hits.
It's no longer near anybody, but it's facing the wrong direction. I mean that. 7 damage.
So gets hit in the back again. It's still alive.
God bless America. Yeah, I guess that'll be it.
Did you say 10 damage?
Yeah, 7 damage is what I said.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, it's still up. All right. After that, Kalul, the initiative.
Yep. Well, I will firebolt the guy who just hit me.
Alrighty.
21.
Let me see. Does that hit a fucking kobold? Turns out it does.
Turns out. 5 points of damage.
Alright, and he, same as the first one, the firebolt hits and impacts against his face, and he collapses.
Aha! And then I will move here.
Alright.
This fucking guy.
Alright, after you, it is the kobold's turn. They meh.
AoE.
This one goes in the tent
No, the 10.
and is out of sight.
Just getting a hostage.
Was that
Alright.
the one clothed?
Yep, it did have a bunch of clothes.
Mhm.
Alright, it is now Amarin's turn.
Cool, you need to throw a fireball at that tent. I mean, a divine bolt.
Fireball!
Okay.
I'll praise be.
Question.
I forgot to add that on my last one.
Right. Can I? Am I? If I want to pull out a what are they called? A javelin.
Yep.
Am I able to sheath my sword and do that, or is that?
So you get one free, like, sheathing or unsheathing.
Okay.
So you could put away the sword for free, but it would be an
Right.
action to then pull out the javelin.
You'd have to drop your sword on
Or
the
you could
ground.
drop it, yeah. But
Yeah.
I'm going to say this right now, just so we set this precedent. If you don't tell me you pick up the shit you drop, it's gone.
Right. Yep.
Okay, remember that. I want all of you to remember that.
That's what I figured it was going to be.
This is hard mode, damn it.
Yep. All right. Now, I am going to. Let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. No, too far. Okay, I'm just going to stay Yeah, it's too far.
You can hold your action to throw when it gets within range.
Well, I was gonna go after the harpy,
Oh,
but
I mean it's 25 feet away.
What's the range of a javelin?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up. Give me a second.
I don't know, like,
I'll look it up. You're good.
I'm pretty close to the page.
Javelin, 30 to 120. So it's just within range.
All right, then. Yeah, I'm going to.
So you flick your sword
I'll
around, stab it into the dirt, and pull out a javelin.
Yep. And then check it.
Go ahead and give me an attack roll.
15.
15 hits.
What is a javelin? I forgot to write that
1d6.
down. 1d6. Do I have any proficiency on that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 1d6. 2.
Well, you don't add proficiency to damage.
you
Oh.
You
said
said your strength or whatever.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
only add that to damage.
So I add my strength to it.
Yep. What you got?
6.
And it just impales it through the chest. And it gives one last squawk before it goes crashing into the dirt. And is dead.
Oh,
Fuckers. Anyway. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Next up. Would have been that harpy. Next up is Ivor.
Ivor the Amazing.
The Amazing. You don't have a title. Just Cool has the title.
Ivor the guy.
The guy.
I will scoot up to the ledge so I can see the kobolds. And I will shoot one of this kobold on the right.
All right. You scoot up and shoot an arrow.
19. Nice some hits. 8 damage. And then I'll scoot back.
8 whole damage.
Yeah.
This guy right here at the top, right?
Yep.
You hit him and it just hits him right in the head and he does like a flip and falls back and doesn't move.
Noise.
There might be someone in the tent, or there extra person in the tent. I guess I wouldn't have seen the person walk into the tent. Maybe. I don't know.
You saw a kobold in people clothes walk in and you know something was
Oh.
shaking around in the tent.
Yeah. So there might be a hostage in the tent.
All right. Next up is Galul the Impatient.
Yep. He will move up to the edge of the so he can see.
Steps in front of Ivor like my spot.
Should fire bolt guy.
Shoot.
22.
Yep, that'll do it.
And then we'll do a D10er.
The old D10er.
Yep. 2. 1, 2.
Wow! Hits it and it is still alive.
I will reposition by my. And then
I have a feeling this is going to be a theme.
just maybe.
A little bit of guerrilla warfare going on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. After that is the kobolds. You watch the kobold
What's the night?
come
Praise Teresa.
out of the tent with a guy who has no shirt or pants on.
Oh.
Actually, hold on, let me reposition that a little better. And the guy is like on his knees, and the kobold has a little like sharpened stone knife to his throat. And the kobold looks at you all and goes, and for everyone who can speak Draconic, he says, "Don't attack her, I'll kill your rock worker." All right,
Something like
and
that.
he is going to hold his action to slit that guy's throat if you guys do anything. All right. The other kobold, seeing that happen, is going to back up and hold his tiny little, looks like a salvaged short sword that he took off somebody in camp towards the guy. And you see the guy they're holding onto, he is tied up. He has a gag in his mouth. He looks beat up and he's like, "Arr!" Like alive, looking around, freaking out. And this kobold is also going to hold his action to attack if you guys do anything to him. Next up, Amarin.
Does anybody know why that guy's being held like that, and why did that kobold leave?
Can we freely talk, or how does this section work?
You have still have technically kind of combat. You have like 6 seconds to make your piece.
Okay.
So what do you do, Amarin?
You just asked that question, I believe.
Yeah, I just asked if anybody knows what's going on, because I didn't hear anything.
All right. After you is Ivor.
Well, it's fairly obvious they're holding him hostage. They got a knife to his neck.
Well, yeah, I see that, but what's going on? They sounded like they were saying something.
All right. Cool.
I speak Draconic. I hold up my arms while I'm doing it.
Okay.
Let's negotiate. We have you outnumbered and outmanned. Free the prisoner.
All right. The kobolds look like they're still waiting there, but they are not stabbing him or anything. We'll say combat is it's on pause. They're still holding their action each turn, quote unquote, though. Okay, so we can speak freely. One of the kobolds, you hear him go. They're speaking in Draconic, so all you hear is this chitter chatter. And the one up close that's hurt by fire goes, "Holy shit, he can speak Draconic!" And the other one goes, "Shh, shut up! This is no time for that. Our lives are on the line, damn it!" And he goes, "We'll let the prisoner go, but we get to go too. You guys are dicks."
Yep, that's fine.
All right. And the other one goes, "Wait a minute, no, that was too easy. Hold on, we need more things." Oh, you're right. Shit. Leave any food you got.
I look over to Amarin and I say, "Leave your provisions."
What do you mean, my
say?
provisions?
Your food.
Oh. Well, leave them, or do I have to throw it to them?
I shouted in Draconic. He's gonna throw his food to you.
All right, but only throw it like halfway. Make sure it doesn't come out of any wrappers or anything. We don't want dirty food.
Okay. Amarin, do like an underhanded toss, like halfway.
It's really happening.
Okay,
All right.
I toss two rations.
And they land about halfway there. And he looks at the other guy. He's like, "All right, go pick him up." "What? Why do I gotta go pick him up?" "Because you're the dumb one." "I'm not dumb. We have the same intelligence score." "Shut up and go get it." "Ah, okay." He comes over and he starts picking up the rations.
Release the prisoner.
And they're like, "Okay, cool." They're like, "Okay, hold on. It's been too easy. What are we gonna do? I don't know. What else can we ask for? I don't know. Give me more pants." "No, you don't need more pants. Shut up." All right. We need each of. Okay, hold on. We know something else we want.
We already gave you the rations.
We have the hostage.
If you kill the hostage, you will die.
Yes, but you won't have your rock worker guy. And then we can attack the village all we want.
You won't attack anything. You'll be dead.
Now we won't, but it'll still be attacked by bigger, meaner people. Yeah, like those feathered, meaner ones.
You'll still be dead.
Yeah, the big harpy doesn't care. Big harpy will attack everybody.
But you care.
Nope. Do you think he knows we're bluffing? Nah, no way. All right, we need each of you to stand on the edge of the cliff with your arms in the air and say that you're big poopy heads.
Okay. Sure.
The hostage guy's like shaking his head. He's like, "Oh, oh," he's like freaking out.
All right. You two get to the edge of the cliff and start babbling random shit. I don't care what you say. But say it. Do it at the same time.
What the fuck are you saying to them? What are they?
What are we supposed to be doing here? What's happening?
They don't speak Draconic, so you probably won't understand them.
Well, I know that. No, what are we?
I'm talking to the
What?
people now.
Oh,
Who the fuck? What are you talking?
I say it in Draconic, and then I look to those two.
You see the kobolds across the way are just staring at you two very expectantly.
Glool's an idiot. That's what I yell and I wave my hands.
Amber, what about you?
I just wave my hands and say, "Give me back my food."
The kobold goes, "Do you have any idea what they said?" "No, but it seems like he met our demands. This is good. Good." They called themselves poopy heads. "Our work here is done." And they say, "Okay, the last thing is we're allowed to go free. That's it. Then you can have your stoneworker man thing."
Alive.
"Of course. But I'm keeping this shirt and pants."
Fine.
Deal.
What do they say, Glool?
We're good.
All right, so you watch as they drag him back to the edge of the tent and then break line of sight and get behind the tent, and they drop him and they just fucking scamper.
Negotiations complete.
Cameron, how good's your tracking?
What's that?
I'm amazing at tracking.
We should follow them. Let's see where the fuck they go.
I think we probably need to take care of this fellow here.
He starts like crawling on the ground.
Oh sure, yeah. First we help him,
Crawling
but we
towards you guys.
I will slowly meander my way down.
All right.
I will run over there and cut the bindings off of him. After I picked up my sword.
You cut off the bindings of his hands and legs. He quickly pulls the cloth gag out of his mouth. He's like, that's so much nicer. Oh, frickin' amen. Oh, I have no idea. Thank you. Oh, God. And you see his hands and ankles are almost like red and bloodied from how long he's probably been wearing those things. And he looks like he's fucking freezing. He's just pale as shit.
I take off my cloak and I wrap it around him.
Thank you very much. I have no idea who you are, but thank you.
Are you the only one here?
Now, yeah.
Where's everybody else?
Either ran away, dead, or ran away and then died. One or the other.
In that order?
Maybe.
Was it just the kobolds and the harpies around here?
Aye, it was. There's a lot more of them, though. They attacked us like 2 days ago. Me and my brother were here farming the stones. Next thing we know, boop, all these people come in. Kobolds coming in out of the rocks, harpies in the sky. We didn't even have time to act. They started singing, we couldn't do nothing.
Well, considering those two scampered off, we probably better get out of here.
But perhaps you can help. They grabbed me and everyone. Well, not me, obviously. I'm right here. They grabbed my brother and everyone else, and they took off north, west, that way.
You think they're dead, or did they take them alive?
I'm not too sure. I know they took everyone alive. They beat a lot of people up pretty badly, but they dragged all of us away alive. Well, the ones that didn't resist anyway. The dead ones they brought back too. There was a couple of town guard with us. As you can see, that ain't the case now.
So, are you saying they headed back towards Avenglen?
No. What did I say? West? East, that way. And he points down the way. And way, way, way down in the valley, you see there's just a stretch of valley. He goes, I don't know where their base is, but I know they kept saying something about the human place. The human spot. The stone house.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is. I don't know this area very well.
I don't either. I just came up here to carve stones, get the men here ready for town. Without them, that town's pretty much a sitting duck if something big comes around. Anything from a swarm of harpies, which I think is what they went that way a couple days ago. Brought back a whole mess of weird stuff, and then they said they were taking it to their stone house.
Must have been raid on some of those shops they were talking about.
That would make sense.
You're all from Avenglen then.
Well, not from there, but we passed through there.
It's good to say. I don't recognize you.
Well, I feel that maybe we should take our friend here back to Avenglen before we make a trek further along.
I'd very much respect that. And then at some point we need people to come back in and we need to collect these stones. I think they're preparing for something, but I don't know what.
Yes, definitely.
And these stones will help.
We have no idea how to carve these. That would be for more of you.
I'm a mason. I can cut them into shapes and load them into carts and move them. Well, I can't load it into a cart now. I have no horses, and I don't know if the 4 of us can lift one of these fuckers.
Right. That's why we need to go back to Avenglen and re-prepare.
Right. You're the smart one. Okay.
Yes.
So go back, report, because that was our mission. Report what we did, what was done. You can.
That's what I said, Kalol. Come on, Kalol.
Dwarf guy can vouch for us, and then
Dwarf guy.
decide what to do from there. He's not dwarf.
No, he is not. He is a young human with short blonde hair.
Oh, okay.
He's hunched over in pain. What is wrong with you, Kalol?
Look, maybe he's just in shock for the fight. Look, let's get out of here.
Yes. Icon is so small. It looks like a little dwarf.
It's a squat. You leave me alone.
Everyone looks short to that giant burly dude that is the hammer.
Anyways, look, but let's get out of here. We can talk on the way. I don't think there's any supplies left here. They probably have everything, but there's probably some back in the shop. Name's Ollie, by the way. Thanks for helping me, whoever the fuck y'all are.
What did you say, Ollie?
Ollie. Hi.
Ollie. Well, I'm Amarin.
Halul, the negotiated.
Ah. Fancy title. All right. And you, sir?
Ivar.
Yeah. Crew, it's nice to meet you. I owe you a life debt. But I can't do that if I'm dead. So let's get out of here, shall we? I used to have another horse, but it ran off. Probably eaten by griffins by now. So that cart's probably not going to be of much use.
Do you happen to have any other clothes laying about? I don't know if my cloak will be enough for you.
No, I'm pretty sure the only clothes I had got worn by a kobold and he left.
Yeah, you probably don't want to wear that.
No, I'm good.
Well, maybe once we get back to where Kalul's sail is, maybe he can start wearing a sail again.
I think you already gave it to him.
Well, he could just take it.
Amarin gave him his cloak.
Oh,
So Amarin is just standing there in his chainmail.
Yeah.
My bad. The two of you sound still familiar. Or the same to me.
He looks at you and goes, all right, well, I will say I can't say I was expecting a Knight of the Dale out this way, but, and I saw you slinging that magic through the tent flap. You're a thaumaturge then.
Something like that.
Oh, well, that's good to know. Okay, cool thing that goddess watching out for me, I see. Oh, gotta count my prayers later. All right, let's get out of here.
Yeah. Let's.
All right, and you guys begin the trek back to town, but it is already getting dark.
And it's almost 11.
Yeah, I was going to say. Wrap it up.
Yep. So, you guys have him amongst your mitts, and you begin heading out, and he goes, all right, well, I'd say we camp here for the night, because it simply has everything we need, but then we risk everything coming on back, and not to mention there's a bunch of fresh blood in the air that's going to attract who knows what. You guys got
I'd
any...
say we'll make our way down the hill.
You got any tents on you? Well, we're not going to make it back to town before day. Or, well, before night. We're definitely going to have to camp out.
Don't believe so.
Unless y'all want to camp out in the wild, I'd say we tear apart one of these tents and take it with us. Or 2 of them, even.
Yeah, let's grab 2 of those tents.
Sure.
All right.
Hell yeah.
So you guys tear down 2 of the tents, pack them up on your persons, kind of splitting the weight amongst everybody. Ollie offers to also take some, because he is of the pair of arms, and you all begin to head down the hill back into the valley towards Avenglen.
Oh.
And that is where we're going to wrap up session 1
Whoop, whoop.
of Tales in Strega.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Mhm.
Good, good, good.